The Central Valley Coyotes can really fill it up. Scott Rizloff is challenging an AF2 record. He's got 71 touchdown passes. He's thrown 7 twice against Everett. But for the Hawks, there is a new sheriff in town, and they are doing it with defense. John Fields has been a real game changer. Hassan Brockman has him doing the Hawk dance. The Hawks go to keep the improbable dream alive tonight on FSN. The Hawks have been a little bit grumpy in practice this week. The coaches think that is a good thing. Central Valley comes back to the Pacific Northwest trying to keep the pressure on in the National West Division, and they are right in the thick of that race. It's the AF2 on FSN. Welcome in with Jason Stiles. I'm Brian Davis. Everett has won 3 of its last 4 games. This is a team right now, Jason, that is thinking about running the table and maybe even getting into the playoffs after an 0-7 start.
Well, right now they're just playing spoiler, but they definitely have the confidence to get to the playoffs. The dog days of summer have arrived for the Everett Hawks, and it's too bad for the opponent because Central Valley is going to face a very tough defense, and it's all starts up front with John Fields and Clay Harrell. They're putting pass rush on the quarterback. That enthusiasm is bleeding off to the rest of the defense, and they're making big plays. They're going to have a very tough task tonight.
The change in the trench, well, let's see. 5 quarterback sacks in the first 8 games, 7 the last 3, and that has helped the turnaround that you see in point differential. Again, the Hawks have won 3 of their last 4. Central Valley blew the Hawks out here, then won narrowly just a couple of weeks ago in Fresno. How hard is it for a team to sweep another opponent in a 3-game series the same year?
It's very difficult, especially mentally on a team, knowing that you've just squeaked away with a couple victories. Couple that with the confidence Everett has coming in tonight, and it's going to be a tough task for the Coyotes to come away with one here tonight.
One thing the Coyotes have is the difference maker named Scott Rizloff. He is challenging the AF2 touchdown record of 99 in a season.
I'll tell you, he's as good as they get in this league. He's got NFL and Arena 1 experience. He's got 14 touchdown passes in just 2 games against Everett. Oh, by the way, if that's not good enough, he wins the game 2 weeks ago with a rushing touchdown. So Everett's got their hands full, and we'll have to see if they can capitalize tonight against Rizloff.
Rizloff and Central Valley have some respect indeed for that renewed Everett pass rush led by John Fields. Hassan Brockman has been getting it done on offense, and on another night in paradise, the Hawks will try to send their fans to heaven tonight at the Everett Event Center.
With every accomplishment, we get that much better. And when it comes to trucks, Toyota leads the way. Toyota Tacoma is an IntelliChoice Best Overall Value of the Year, and the full-size Tundra has had the best resale value 5 years running. Now get a new 06 Tundra with 2.9 financing or $1,500 cash back. For great deals on other great trucks, log on to Toyota.com and keep doing what you do best. We will too. Toyota, moving forward.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 Best Damn Beatdowns. The most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
Well, it sounded all right, and good night.
You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
They work for years to get here, focused on a single goal, doing everything they possibly can to achieve their dream. And when they're off the field, they work just as hard to help others achieve theirs. Mariners Care brings local kids together with their heroes, helping them realize the importance of working towards a dream. It's a side of Mariners baseball you don't always see.
X marks a daring pursuit of the unknown. Unpredictable, unforgettable. X marks questions that need to be explored. Stories that need to be told. X marks the destination for adventures so gripping you never let go. X marks Explorer, Sundays, only on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore.
From the heart of Las Vegas, this is the Poker Dome. MansionPoker.net and FSN bring you the series that is revolutionizing poker forever. With
all new groundbreaking technology that puts you inside the game like never before. The future of tournament poker has arrived. The MansionPoker.net Poker Dome Challenge series continues Sunday on FSN.
Everett Hawks football on FSN Northwest is brought to you by Story Construction. Story Construction, a proud partner of the Everett Hawks. And by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Everett Hawks, offering over 3,000 nonstop flights to 62 destinations all across the country. Brian Davis, Jason Stiles, and patrolling the sidelines tonight on the broadcast, the Fish, Jeff Barron. We had a chance to visit with Fred Bolitnikoff Jr., the Central Valley coach. Jeff, and he seemed quite confident coming into this game.
I would say football bravado would be the word. Maybe he has a little bit of that Oakland Raider mentality from his father. Beating the team 3 times in 1 year, is it possible? He says if we do, we own the Everett Hawks. If we don't, then revenge was a factor. He said he'll treat this as a playoff game. He wants to go into the bye week 8-4. His team practiced in 106-degree heat in California all week long, but he's very confident. I think Central Valley's ready for tonight's game. Are they taking Everett very seriously? However, that remains a question.
Bolitnikoff certainly taking Tony Wells seriously since he took over from the fired Ricky Foggy. The Hawks have gone 3-2. Their losses by 4 points and 6 points, the latter 2 weeks ago at Central Valley.
It was a heck of a game, and if you ask Everett, they feel like they should have won that ball game, so they're very happy to see the Coyotes back here tonight.
Hassan Brockman with the opening kickoff and room to midfield, cartwheeled by Marvin Brown, but a good return starting the Hawks in Coyotes territory after a 30-yard kickoff return for Hassan Brockman.
I'll tell you, just 2 weeks ago here in this same building, special teams is a huge factor in giving the momentum to Everett Hawks. Hassan Brockman starts right where they left off, gets that ball out over midfield, and Brian Baker and company will have a great chance to start off with their first possession.
Baker missed the game last week, the 9-point victory at Stockton, because of a foot infection. Back to pass and looking for the end zone, caught inside the 5-yard line. Touchdown! Milton Myers on the first play of the game.
I tell you what, they start off hot. They go right for the throat, take advantage of that momentum they set up off of the kickoff return. Brian Baker hits that 5th step, the quick smash route, the corner route from Milton Myers. You see he goes barreling into that goal line right against the wall, and Everett puts up an early 6.
Myers last week voted the U.S. Army Iron Man of the game for his work on offense and defense in the victory at Stockton. That is his 26th touchdown reception of the season, the 20th scoring pass for Baker, and Craig Hawley for the extra point. Count it. And just like that, the Hawks a little slow to start their last 2 games against the Coyotes. They have served notice early tonight at the Everett Event Center. 34 yards, Baker to Myers.
The action and entertainment are heating up in July at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5.
July 7th and 8th, Smokey Robinson returns to the Emerald Queen Casino. Smokey Robinson, the godfather of Motown, July 7th and 8th. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5 Tacoma, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
When you only have a few minutes of hot water, being first is an advantage. Put more power in your shower. Call Fast Water Heater Company and have a new Norris tankless water heater installed. Norris tankless water heaters are efficient, space-saving, and provide endless hot water. Right now, save $200 and get a $300 tax credit.
When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast.
In Washington and Oregon, Fast Water Heater Company. 1-800-THINK-FAST.
Fast Water Heater Company.
From the heart of Las Vegas, this is the Poker Dome. MansionPoker.net and FSN bring you the series that is revolutionizing poker forever. With all new groundbreaking technology that puts you inside the game like never before. The future of tournament poker has arrived. The MansionPoker.net Poker Dome Challenge series continues Sunday on FSN.
If you missed FSN Live last
The Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my fifth. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Tribute to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' 5th elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
We knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
FSN Live is your all-access pass to the action you live for and the teams you can't live without. FSN Live connects you to the players and events like no one else can.
When we get stopped like that, we're able to get out and run them.
With cameras on Northwest universities and in-depth analysis from Bill Kruger, Kevin Calabro, and Hall of Famers Lenny Wilkins and Warren Moon. Experience the Northwest sports scene like never before. FSN Live, where the action is. Tonight after the game.
One play, 23 yards. Milton Myers, the Everett hometown product. Hard to believe he's 32 years old.
Well, and he's the first to tell you about it, too. He wants to be known as the old man that's still got the loose legs, and he does nothing but show that every week.
Lamonte Jones has a little trouble with it. The ball is loose in the end zone. Covered up, we believe, by the Coyotes. Touchback.
I tell you what, Brian, that's what makes arena football so exciting is plays off of that net on the kickoff. It's not just a normal kickoff where you field the ball and return it. Craig Hawley puts this thing right on the bottom of the net. It hits that little bar, shoots straight down. Lamonte Jones has a heck of a time getting rid of it or holding on to that ball. And then it's just a scrum at the bottom of the pile. Central Valley comes up with it, but Everett here, the early momentum, and they've come out ready to play.
The touchback pins the Coyotes inside their own 5-yard line, but when Scott Rizloff is working at quarterback, take nothing for granted. 7 touchdowns in each of the first 2 games against Everett, a 19-point victory April 30th, and then 2 weeks ago a 6-point decision in Fresno. To the near side, Jones, the receiver, across the 5-yard line. Modest gain, make it 2nd down and 7. Lamonte Jones, the leading receiver for Central Valley, 73 receptions, 26 touchdown catches of the 71 Rizloff has thrown.
I tell you, that is not a misprint. 71 touchdowns, 14 of those have come against Everett in their 2 matchups.
Rizloff working the far side now. Jones stiff-arming Myers and is very close to a 1st down. Mark on the near side of the field gives them 3rd down and short. Central Valley on 3rd down, 49%. 6th in AF2. Defensively, the Hawks are 7th in the league, 43%.
The Central Valley Coyotes will not be shy in going downfield. They've just been kind of give themselves a little bit of breathing room here early on, backed up to their own goal line. But Fred Bolitnikoff Jr. and company are not very patient when it comes to the offensive end, so look them to go downfield.
Wes Borba in motion, the handoff to the other side by Natoa. The bruiser out of the College of the Sequoias. His brother, Willie shined with the tackle. Natoa's brother last night hosted a barbecue for his teammates here in the Seattle area. John Fields to Ray Butler, all have taken turns playing hero for the Hawks in this run, in which they have won 3 of their last 4 after an 0-7 start. 1st down just across the 15-yard line. The ball actually on the far side hash at the 15, and Rizloff is looking for Jones. He's got it. Touchdown. Defender falls down. Rizloff and Jones make the Hawks pay. 35 yards on the scoring pass. Rizloff, 72nd of the year.
You're going to see Jones go man-on-man against Milton Myers. Milton Myers, one of the quickest players in the league. When you get a full head of steam, as you see Jones right there, is able to turn him around. And watch how close Milton Myers comes to that ball within inches. And Davis runs into the sideline. I really think that should be out of bounds.
Is that his only option at this point? He's beaten, so he hammers at the ball. They often tell DBs don't go ball, but when you're beaten that bad, was that his only choice?
It was. He closed on it really well, but when you got a perfectly thrown pass, there's not much you can do as a defender. Central Valley capitalized on it.
John Gockman with the extra point to tie the football game at 7. Lamonte Jones, also a pretty good kickoff return man. And he's got the Coyotes in the house early in Everett.
There was once a little boy named Bucky who played Hermiston Babe Ruth. Now, Hermiston Babe Ruth has a business checking account at Banner Bank, and one of its big supporters is Banner customer Dave Ego, who owns Cottage Flowers. And that's where Debbie Watson purchased an arrangement to congratulate her former neighbor, that little boy named Bucky Jacobson, on his first Major League homer. It just goes to prove that we're all in some way connected to the same bank.
The action and entertainment are heating up in July at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5.
July 7th and 8th, Smokey Robinson returns to the Emerald Queen Casino. Smokey Robinson, the godfather of Motown, July 7th and 8th. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5 Tacoma, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
It's television's most prestigious fishing tournament, FLW Outdoors.
Look at the bend in that rod.
The ultimate weekly challenge in competitive fishing.
Woo! Huge fish.
Follow the world's top anglers as they go head-to-head in a race to hook the day's most elusive catch. And battle it out for the right to be crowned world champion. FLW Outdoors, Sundays on FSN.
FSN Live is your all-access pass to the action you live for and the teams you can't live without. FSN Live connects you to the players and events like no one else can.
When we get stopped like that, we're able to get out and run.
With cameras on Northwest universities and in-depth analysis from Bill Kruger, Kevin Calabro, and Hall of Famers Lenny Wilkens and Warren Moon. Experience the Northwest sports scene like never before. FSN Live, where the action is. Tonight after the game.
Can't beat fun at the Everett Events Center. A little tricycle race. I'll tell you, we got a track meet, though, as Lamonte Jones caught 3 balls for 44 yards on that touchdown drive. Brockman had a touchdown return on a kickoff last week at Stockton. This time hemmed in just across the 10-yard line. Give him the 13, and so Brian Baker brings the Everett offense back onto the field. Baker has completed 59% of his passes, now 20 touchdowns against only 5 interceptions, which is not a bad rating.
Well, and he had kind of caught fire there in those last few games, and due to a plantar's wart on the bottom of his foot, it became infected, had a cyst on his foot the size of a thumbnail. He was out all last week, so you're curious to see how does he respond and come back after being out a week. Well, 1 for 1 for a touchdown isn't too bad.
Check his mobility as the Coyotes bring an awful lot of quarterback pressure, and Baker throws the ball away, and from the backside, I think he's going to be called for grounding.
Well, there's a receiver in the area. He just kind of airmailed it into the crowd.
Holding call against the Hawks. Still half the distance to the goal. Steve Kovac, Pac-10 official, is the referee tonight. Ufoma Pela, big guy out of the University of Maine, is called for the hold. The Hawks have, for the most part, gotten a handle on a problem that had them amongst the most penalized teams in AF2, but timing is everything.
It sure is. Well, and a lot of those penalties were coming on personal foul, just undisciplined penalties. Since Tony Wells has come on, that has not been a problem at all.
Baker with room, looking for the new guy. Touchdown! J.R. Thomas.
I'll tell you what, J.R. Thomas, they talked about, this is the first true 4-3 guy we've seen. Watch him lull this guy to sleep, and boom! He is past Haslett before he knows what hit him. A perfect strike by Brian Baker. I tell you what, it takes every bit of arm you've got to throw it the length of the field with a guy running that fast. Baker met him in stride, and the Hawks go right back on top.
Thomas, the second-year AF2 pro out of Indiana University in Pennsylvania. Hawks picked him up from Wilkes-Barre That is a Tony Wells connection, because head coach here in Everett engineered a turnaround there before he did so last year at Cincinnati. And early on, he's got his offense in rhythm. It's the defense's turn when we return to the Everett Event Center.
What's this Nagafuki surprise?
If you can eat Nagafuki surprise, whole table get Bud Light.
Yes. I'm in.
Nagafuki surprise.
I've been to Japan. Can't surprise me.
8 Bud Light and 1 Nagafuki surprise.
Huh. Look at this. What's the big
surprise? Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Tastes kind of funny.
It lay eggs now. Enjoy.
When does a car become more? Is it with more power? With more advanced features? Or an amazing new look? The all-new redesigned 07 Camry is when a car becomes more. Now get this great low price on the all-new Camry at your Toyota dealer. Toyota. It's time to move forward.
You missed FSN Live last night. You missed the action.
The Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my 5th. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Tribute to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' 5th elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
We knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
It's television's most prestigious fishing tournament, FLW Outdoors.
Look at the bend in that rod.
The ultimate weekly challenge in competitive fishing.
Woo! Huge fish.
Follow the world's top anglers as they go head-to-head in a race to hook the day's most elusive catch. And battle it out for the right to be crowned world champion. FLW Outdoors, Sundays on FSN.
There's been a touchdown on every possession. No wonder they're fired up in Everett. The Hawks with the early lead as Brian Baker airs it out to the speedy J.R. Thomas, 44 yards.
He was vertical from the second he started. When you got a 10-yard head start like that and you're a 4-3 sprinter, you're going to run by anybody, and the Hawks took advantage.
James Lewis from the back of the end zone with space and a block off the edge. The kicker, Hawley, with the tackle and a penalty marker thrown after the play, and that may be that personal foul bugaboo rearing its ugly head. And we've got a problem at the other end. Kohei Satomi, the Japanese player, just signed again. He's had horrific problems with injuries, and he got nailed on the block that sprung Lewis for the return.
It is going to be a personal foul penalty. The referee's quick to throw the laundry on the floor. It didn't appear. There's just a little pushing and shoving going on after the play.
How about the kicker getting involved? Although at the other end, the medical staff and Tony Wells worried about Satomi. They just got the guy back.
As you see him come in, he's just returning from the shoulder injury, and he reaches out with that left shoulder. He's got nothing supporting that. You know, even coming back from an injury that's still a little bit weak, and you see trainer Mike McClowry out there. It's not a good sign there. It's Satomi holding that left shoulder very, very close to his body.
Richard Dodd-Masters was called for the personal foul as Mike takes Kohei into the dressing room. Dodd-Masters has been one of the stars of this show. He had a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown at Central Valley 2 weeks ago, but now Rizloff starts the Coyotes deep in Hawks territory. On the pump fake for Jones, leaping catch, incomplete. He was out of bounds. Great effort, though. He was well covered on the play.
He was well covered by 3 Everett fans in the first row. Scott Rizloff, a little touch on that pass, but again, the rounded end zones here.
Defense.
They run out on you in a hurry.
Number 92, who's out of the box, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Willie Shine called for the illegal blitz.
Good coverage by the Hawks as they close in on that corner. The receiver goes up, and he's just met, again, that's that ninth defender, so to speak, the pads, and he's welcomed rudely into that first row.
Shine has been in dry dock as well. 6'4", 295, good size out of Howard University in Little Washington, D.C. First down, first and goal now. Rizloff through the hands of Lamonte Jones. Jeff Aaron has been keeping an eye on Scott Rizloff's exploits coming into this game tonight.
You would think his numbers were from a video game. 72 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's a great ratio. Secretly, he desires the Arena Football League 2 record of touchdown passes in one season, which is 99. That's the AF2 record, which was set last year by Matt Salk with the Louisville franchise. The all-time Arena Football League record at AF Arena Football is 105 touchdowns. So he's had a pretty good pace. A few more games. They go into the bye. Is 3 or 4 more games. He has a shot at breaking the all-time touchdown record.
Rizloff fighting off pressure over the head of the intended receiver, Marvin Brown. Penalty marker is thrown just shy of the end zone.
Illegal defense. 92, out of the box, half the distance to goal, automatic first down.
We talked about Willie Shine. He's an O-line, D-line guy by trade, but Coach Tony Wells said, you know what? This guy can move pretty well. I want to take a look at him at that linebacker fullback spot. He did very, very well, but when you're out there in open space, you're not used to kind of the rules of the linebacker. That time, Shine got a little bit too deep. You've got to stay in that box 5 yards deep of the line of scrimmage. You go further than that, the referee's going to throw the flag.
Rodney Swanigan, the offensive defensive line coach, is having a word and movement on the Coyotes line, and maybe Central Valley will be marching back. False start is the preliminary indication. Hard to get a rhythm going when there's so much laundry on the field, though.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, you saw the false start penalty that time, then you saw Rizloff and John Fields barking at each other a little bit. I was talking with Fields before the game, and he said they had a nice little conversation a couple weeks ago in Central Valley, too, so that's a matchup to watch. John Fields each and every week garnering a lot more respect every game that he plays, and Scott Rizloff knows his number, and he knows he's coming.
Fields wants the team's sack lead back from Clay Harrell as well. Jones on the slant, just shy of the goal line.
It's a great example of some of the inventive things that Central Valley does on offense. They take the motion guy, who's obviously the main concentration for the defenders. Wes Borber runs a little corner route into the end zone. All the while, they forget about the outside receiver, and Jones, he just slants underneath the coverage, and with his quick moves, he almost gets into the end zone.
Second and goal at the 1-yard line. Rizloff beat the Hawks 2 weeks ago with the keeper, and he tries it again. This time meets great resistance, and they will have to unstack them before we figure it out. And after the play, a little bit of extracurricular, they did stop Rizloff shy of the line. Marvin Brown gets up, and also one of the offensive linemen, Ricky Gaspar, out of Linfield College.
You want right at the line of scrimmage, Clay Harrell just stands up, the offensive lineman for Central Valley, and Ricky Gaspar. You're right, Linfield College, a storied program of small college football here in the Northwest, but Gaspar had nothing doing that time. That presents third and goal.
Hawks have gotten much better push on the D-line. Rizloff is stoned. It's fourth down. Tavarius Davis, Torrey Butler leading the charge and denying Rizloff a second consecutive time. In fact, this time taking yardage away.
That's a great example of team defense and disciplined defense, Brian. The whole play was motioning towards the left side of the field. Wes Borba, again, coming to that left side. You thought they were going to stack it up on the left, but instead Scott Rizloff runs to the right and is stacked up by a number of Hawk defenders.
Coyotes are one of the best red zone teams in the league, and That was behind. The penalty markers all over the field. That pass was bounced behind West Borba, which would make it a live ball, but they blew it down.
Well, you see Tony Missick on the field right now trying to say that's a fumble. It should be our ball. There's the flag on the field. Let's see what the referee is going to call it.
Coachman, defense, number 97, half the distance to goal, still 4th down.
The former Pella.
Boy, does that hurt. You're talking about getting off the field on 4th down, and a penalty, just an alignment penalty, costs you not only a half a yard, but more importantly, getting the football back. As Scott Rizov just grounded that ball. Really should have been called a lateral, I thought, but it would have gone for naught anyway because of the penalty on Pella.
Again, swing passes thrown behind the receiver, just like in the 11-man game, the outdoor game. Those are live balls. Timeout is taken. The Coyotes will talk it over. Late first quarter, Everett trying to maintain a 7-point lead over Central Valley.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Their Mondo burritos are our favorite by far. Life is good when you have your buddies and those tasty burritos from Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled. He's my friend, and I'm happy to say we like peas in a pod. We like it that way. We got a bucket of laughs. It's a gas, and he's my very best friend. He's my friend.
Perfect Fit Checking from Sterling Savings Bank. Designed to fit your life and your lifestyle perfectly. Choose from free to fully loaded and everything in between. Only from Sterling. The Perfect Fit Bank.
If you like both kinds of music, country and western, the Emerald Queen Casino has got you covered.
July 15th, spend an evening with the legendary country star Tanya Tucker. Find your Delta Dawn with Tanya Tucker before it's a little too late. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5 Tacoma, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Sometimes you're hungry enough for a Mondo burrito. Other times, it's enchiladas or tacos. Life is good when you have your friends and Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled.
And here's the play at the plate. Kenji Jojima digs in. Stops the runner in his tracks. What a collision. And he got it. What a play.
Tavarius Davis with the 3rd down sack of Rizloff. It is 4th and goal. What confidence Everett is showing defensively these days.
The momentum's a funny thing, Brian, and Tavarius Davis and company really winning that battle at the line of scrimmage. You look at the point differential in the last 4 games versus the first 7 when they started out 0-7, and that starts at the defensive end. You can't say how important that is in terms of momentum. When the defense gets the ball back to the offense, 1 or 2 stops in arena football wins ball games. Everett's been making those stops of late, and there's not going to be a bigger stop opportunity in the last 4 games than this one right now.
That difference equates to 2 touchdowns a game. Natoa up tight behind Rizloff. The ball hit the carpet. The ball may have hit the carpet.
It was fumbled,
and
Brian.
It is, yes indeed, it is Everett football.
They're having a lot of problems with that quarterback-center exchange. Everett says thank you very much. As you'll see, Rizloff, he doesn't even get the ball from his center. It looks like another run play that they are developing with a lead blocker in Weston Borba. Here's the motion man. Ball snapped. He doesn't even get it. The center's holding on to the ball. The center is holding on to the ball. He did not let go of that thing.
The center is a brand new player at that position, Dwayne Taui-Lili. Who played at Eastern Kentucky. Baker to the outside. Brockman is drilled by Lamonte Jones as the Hawks start deep in their own territory, though that didn't matter last time when Baker aired it out to J.R. Thomas.
I tell you, you've got J.R. Thomas out there. He makes a lot of things happen. You take a look at Dwayne Tawilili just holding on to that football. You got to give it to the quarterback, big fella.
Out of Eastern Kentucky, again, had never played center before. So you will go through that. Bolitnikoff loves him, and Baker loving Hassan Brockman for the first down on the near side.
Well, it's a good job of Baker taking what the defense gives him. Kenny Haslett does a nice job of jamming the motion man off the line of scrimmage to J.R. Thomas. So J.R. Thomas is not able to show his feet on that time, but Brian Baker realizes what he needs to get a first down. He does so to Hassan Brockman. They've got a new set of downs and a little more room to work.
Baker, first-year pro out of Austin Peay University, where he enjoyed a great deal of success in stretches throwing the ball. He's going to keep it. Hung up by J.R. Kelemeni and then finished off by the big guy. Officially no gain as Jeff Aaron stands behind the Hawks offense. What kind of respect is J.R. Thomas getting right now, Fish?
Well, it's kind of funny. There's two questions you'll never get an answer to. When you ask a woman how much she weighs and a football player's 40-yard dash time. He runs a 4.28 40-yard dash. That's timed and confirmed. The fastest guy on the field. We saw him go big on the second series of the game, and he'll get a lot of respect today.
On second down, penalty marker is thrown as Thomas gathers the ball on the near side. Lunges across the 15-yard line, and for the, I think, 7th time, I'm keeping count in my head.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
We want to talk about respect. He beats him deep already. Kenny Haslett, you talk about talking with the defensive corner. How do I stop this guy? Look at Kenny Haslett. He's in the middle right here, right? He's already that far off of him. The guy's not even in motion. So you want to talk about respect. They see 4.28, and they know exactly what hit him because he already has 6 on the board for Everett.
Second down all over again, and 5 yards to go. Adrian Cockfield split to the near side with Thomas in motion. Brockman on the far side is hemmed in and downed by Aaron Miller, the former Oregon State Beaver. Brockman out of the University of Bridgeport.
Well, here's another way to stop big number 4. You just hold him off the line of scrimmage. Big collision. Kenny Haslett just says, you know what, I'm going to give you a big bear hug. I like you so much. I'm not letting you get off the line. And early on, that seems to be the strategy for the high motion guy. Not easy to jam a guy off the line of scrimmage when he's got a 10-yard running start at you, but Kenny Haslett, big physical defensive back there.
Baker waiting for Thomas to hit the line of scrimmage, goes the other way for Brockman. First down, loses the football, picked up by the Coyotes. Central Valley with another takeaway as Maurice Taylor out of Northern Arizona recovers the fumble, make it plus 16.
Opportunistic defense. See Hassan Brockman working for extra yardage. Just a little tap on that ball, knocks it loose, and Maurice Taylor, leading the team in interceptions, picks up a fumble recovery. So the guy's a turnover machine, but just as we talked about the big turnaround for Everett on defense, getting that turnover to not take advantage of a takeaway is equally harmful. The Everett cannot afford to do that against a good Central Valley Coyotes team. Let's hope this defense now is up to the challenge and build off that momentum they built on the 4th down goal line stand.
We talk about Rizloff and the Coyotes offense. We got to talk about the defense as Aaron Miller, check that. Yeah, that is Miller. He changed numbers this week. Miller gathers it in inside the 20-yard line at the 18, first down, Central Valley.
Well, it was great timing between Rizloff and Miller that time as Miller just runs your basic football route, a curl route. Rizloff lets go of that thing before Miller even turns around, and not much the defense can do.
That'll be the final play of the first quarter. We had scores on the first 3 possessions, and then the defenses took over late. Everett goes to the second quarter with a 14-7 lead over a team in Central Valley that is trying to complete a 3-game season sweep of the Hawks tonight at the Event Center.
When does a car become more? Is it with more power, more safety, more advanced features, or an amazing new look. The all-new redesigned 07 Camry is when a car becomes more. Now get this great low price on the all-new Camry at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, it's time to move forward.
This is the house built by T.R. Masterson Construction, who has a business checking account at Banner Bank. And this is Banner Bank customer Big Dan Wright, who's the person Tom Masterson calls to get plumbing work done. Or if he needs masonry work, Tom might call the folks at Southpaw Construction, who have a Banner line of credit. So Toby Boucher can move into her new T.R. Masterson home, thanks to her Banner Home Loan. It just goes to prove that we're all in some way connected to the same bank.
Arena football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
Watch the Arena Football League, Season 20 on FSN.
It's your one-stop destination for everything you need to know about the World Cup. Fox Sports World Report, 7 nights a week. An award-winning show that brings you the best news and analysis from the world's greatest event. Join host Jeremy St. Louis and Michelle Lissel as they deliver up-to-the-date information on each bracket. Get caught up on your favorite country on the world's biggest stage. Fox Sports World Report, 7 nights a week, only on Fox Soccer Channel.
FSN Live is your all-access pass to the action you live for and the teams you can't live without. FSN Live connects you to the players and events like no one else can.
When we get stopped like that, we're able to get out and run them.
With cameras on Northwest universities and in-depth analysis from Bill Kruger, Kevin Calabro, and Hall of Famers Lenny Wilkins and Warren Moon. Experience the Northwest sports scene like never before. FSN Live, where the action is. Tonight after the game.
The arena game certainly lived up to its high-octane reputation early at the Everett Event Center as the Hawks and Coyotes traded touchdowns on the first 3 possessions of the ball game. And a 4th down stop the goal line by Everett. Now a fumble recovery by Central Valley as the Coyotes looking for the promised land. On the first play of the second quarter, Touré Butler, the former Washington Husky, denying Marvin Brown.
A great timing by Touré Butler breaking on this pass. As you see, Brown stops right on the dime. Touré Butler's right there. Great timing, no early contact, and that's what you like to see out of number 10. He's been dominant back there for the Everett Hawks. Really been a huge catalyst in turning this defense around.
Butler has had his share of big play moments in this role, and Pella is all over Rizloff, and he's going to be called for roughing. Big guy like that, 340 pounds, he couldn't stop himself after Rizloff got rid of the ball.
James Landers called for the ball that time. He wasn't able to receive that ball, but it's going to go for naught.
Roughing the passer, defense, number 97, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The man they call Foam is not having a good night. That's his 3rd penalty.
We'll take a look at it. They're wanting to put hits on Scott Rizloff to slow him down a little bit. As you see Pella coming off the end, and they're calling him for that shot to the head right there. Would not have been a late hit, but when you're as big as Pella is coming off the end like that at 6'3", 340, there's only so much you can do to control it when you're going full speed like that. But Rizloff and company will take that penalty. The incompletion doesn't matter. They're going to advance the ball, and they're inside the 10-yard line.
Rizloff has time. Penalty markers thrown. Borba, the intended receiver, locked up with Dodd Masters. Might be 2 fouls on the play. Let's see. April 30th, Central Valley came here and won 60-41, and penalties at almost every turn were a big part of the story.
Defensive pass interference, number 9, half the distance to goal, first down.
I'll tell you what, it's not necessarily a bad penalty. When you get this tight in arena football, those end zones get real skinny. a couple yards on that penalty isn't going to make a huge difference. In arena football, you almost want to have more room to go for the end zone. So a few yards closer in this case is better than giving up to a touchdown, as Dodd Masters against Borba.
If that happened out on Broadway, they'd be taking him to the Hall of Justice right now. That was a mugging at the goal line.
It absolutely was. Well, it almost looked like a square dance there, hand in hand. Borba looked at him like, hey, it's not that time.
One thing, though, the story behind the story, penalties certainly also plus minus. We mentioned that Central Valley is plus 16. Well, Everett is minus 9. 9 more giveaways than takeaways defensively, and Rizloff, with first and goal at the 5, is trying to cash in. Brown, easy pickets for the touchdown.
Once again, the corner route pulls the defense back to protecting that end zone. When you got a guy as quick as Brown, he just picks that ball up and walks into the end zone before the Everett defense can converge on him. So quick timing plays by Central Valley. They've got on the board once again, and they're within an extra point of tying this thing up.
Isolated Milton Myers over on the near side. John Gockman, 96 points. He is second in AF2 in kick scoring. About 89% on his PATs, which is also one of the best numbers in the league. And the combination of Rizloff to Brown and then Gockman for the PAT. By the way, that's 73 touchdown passes for Scott Rizloff. Wow.
Attention FSN night owls. Got the late night munchies? Get a sourdough jack sandwich at Jack in the Box. Visit Jack in the Box for everything late night. And watch FSN for all your late night sports action.
Sports Ultimate Nightly Highlight Show is here. Introducing the FSN Final Score. No fluff, no filler, just highlights. It's TV's most action-packed half hour. Premieres July 3rd on FSN. Poker's elite make their way down under. PartyPoker.net presents Aussie Millions 2006. World champion Joseph Hashem returns home to battle the world's top poker players for a $3 million purse at Australia's most exclusive casino. Only one will be crowned champion of the Outback. PartyPoker.net presents Aussie Millions 2006. Series premiere Saturday, only on FSN.
It's your one-stop destination for everything you need to know about the World Cup. Fox Sports World Report, 7 nights a week. An award-winning show that brings you the best news and analysis from the world's greatest event. Join host Jeremy St. Louis and Michelle Lissel as they deliver up-to-the-date information on each bracket. Get caught up on your favorite country on the world's biggest stage. Fox Sports World Report, 7 nights a week, only on Fox Soccer Channel.
Arena football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
Watch the Arena Football League, Season 20 on FSN.
Talk about Central Valley's confidence on offense. Bolitnikov says that comes from the work you put in Monday through Friday. Saturday is party time.
It is. They do so much work. You watch the timing here. Rizloff is so decisive. You're going to see Jones go to the corner. He's going to pull Milton Myers with him. Milton Myers is right here. That leaves it all wide open for Rizloff to just step back, get it out into the flat, and he walks through into the end zone. Marvin Brown didn't have a whole lot of work to do there, and that's one of the things that makes Rizloff such an effective quarterback, is he knows exactly where he's going with the ball at the snap, and the defense doesn't have a chance to react.
Oh, here's the speedster Thomas, but he's got a problem with it. Barely hangs on and will be whistled down for the touchback. FSN Live is your all-access pass to the action you live for and the teams you can't live without. The only show that provides you unparalleled access to your Northwest sports scene, giving you insight to the players and events like no one else can. FSN Live before the game, after the game, and every night at 10. Exhibit A, we will be at the NBA Draft in New York. course, a lot of Northwest angles there. Not too far from Indiana, Pennsylvania, where J.R. Thomas played his collegiate ball.
He can run fast, but those guys can jump high. It's going to be a big, big day for a lot of teams.
Baker has yet to miss. I know we're messing with Joe Boo there, but so be it. Oh, man. Jones separates Myers from his senses. Man, that is just good, hard-hitting, tooth-rattling football. How many fingers, Milton?
Take a look at Brian Baker.
This is a miss.
That doesn't even need comment right there. You're right, that is just teeth rattling.
Hit him so hard he hurt his parents.
Is that a tear there I see in Milton's eye?
Oh, no, no. You will not see Milton crying. Davis. Good catch in a tight spot, and he and Haslip have a few words afterward. Baker just hit his back foot and got the Hawks out of jail.
Well, they're nickel and diming Central Valley right now as they've been kind of getting in Baker's face a little bit. Great timing by Brian Baker, hitting that last step, throwing the ball as Tavarius Davis is still making his break. And good job by Davis in getting his head around and getting the yardage needed.
Not bad for a guy who was driving a delivery truck a year ago in South Florida. Baker looks to the near side, then throws to the far, and over everybody. It is going to be 4th down, although somebody got a licking down there after the ball left.
I got to tell you, Brian, I think they missed a holding call. J.R. Thomas did a little stutter and go, and Lamonte Jones was caught by. He held him and pushed him into the sideline. The referee didn't see it as he was turning his back to run. So Central Valley gets away with one, and it's going to be 4th and short for the Hawks.
Hawks on 4th down. 20th in the league at 31%, but they convert as Baker finds Thomas before Jones hauls him down across the 15-yard line. But all you got to do is move the chains and give yourself a chance.
You got to respect J.R. Thomas's speed. Look at the cushion this creates. He's going full speed. All he needs is 3 yards. The DB's got to respect it. Boom. At 5 yards, he's got it. And let's not forget, too, he is a guy that, because of his speed, can make a 3-yard catch into something a lot bigger.
Jeff Aaron, J.R. Thomas, you take a look at the numbers. 2 catches, 51 yards in the touch.
It opens up a lot of play calling for Tony Wells, the coach. He says Myers, Brockman, and Thomas, the best 3 receivers he's had. He goes to Myers again on this play for another completion. But he says it gives him an opportunity to call different kind of plays, and every play is eligible in the book because all 3 are dangerous. All 3 can do same things. He hasn't been able to say that all season. And Myers, Brockman, and Thomas right now getting the job done down on the field.
Notice an adjustment now. Instead of the vertical game guys, they're starting to go underneath and play the intermediate stuff. Is that just a matter of changing the rhythm, or is Central Valley beginning to get a little bit of pressure on Baker, so he's got to get rid of it faster?
They've been in his face a little bit early on, Brian, so I think they've got to counteract that with some short passes, all the while knowing they can get Thomas behind anybody.
Except he's held, then releases, and an acrobatic attempt, not quite. A penalty marker thrown at the line of scrimmage. Boy, did he come back on that ball or what?
Offside. Defense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So the Hawks will benefit from the penalty, but even his own players have to slow him down. What? He runs into Milton Myers and company, tries to adjust to that football. Brian Baker puts it a little bit to the middle of the field. And, you know, that's timing. When a guy just gets here this week, you only get a couple days of practice. That's a huge quarterback-receiver timing issue. You don't have time to work together. And keep in mind, Brian Baker's coming off an injury. That just all feel right there. They almost hook up. They come up a little short.
Fish, you think this guy has got NFL potential?
Shot with the Carolina pair. We go again. Well, I can ask him. He's right in front of me right now.
Why don't you help him out there?
I talked to him before the game. He was in the Carolina Panthers camp in 2002, and when you have 4.28 speed, you're going to get some looks. He wasn't able to stick I asked him if there's anybody in the league faster than him, and he said, well, maybe Tim Dodge at Quad City, but he's quite proud of his speed. But I would think you know, with that kind of speed, you have to get looks from somebody, and right now he's getting a lot of looks from Central Valley's defense.
Well, I'll tell you, a guy comes right to mind is Brad Pyatt, who hooked on with Indianapolis a couple of years ago with out of northern Arizona, and Pyatt is a guy who now has actually got himself some free agent money, and he's moved on to the next stop, and he was one of the best kick returners in the NFL for a couple of years before he got hurt.
Speed guys in football are like 7-footers in basketball. If you see that time on the field, they're always going to come looking for you.
Baker, wow, for a big guy who's not noted for his running abilities, he does well to get around the corner before Doug Langenfeld puts the push on from behind. He had a lot of beef chasing him from the backside, didn't he?
Hey, that'll cut you a couple tenths off your 40 in a hurry, Brian. I tell you what, Brian Baker turns the corner, and you got to keep an eye on him too, because his foot, although healed, still bothers him a little bit. It's that left foot, so when he takes off and pushes off, that can be a problem.
Well, let's talk about the mobility, and what do? Do you just tape him tighter and just keep pressure on that thing so it doesn't hurt so much?
The toughest thing about feet is you're going to use it. There's only so much you can do to immobilize them. Baker said 4 socks. That's his medicine.
Myers gets turned around. That was a timing route. Myers turned inside at the last minute. It's 4th down. Of course, you also have another option in Wes Bishorner, who we see on the bench charting the plays. He was a finalist for the Harlan Hill Award last year at South Dakota. That's sort of the Division II Heisman Trophy, and he won the game last week at Stockton.
And he had a heck of a game, too. Wes Bishorner is a flat-out football player. The guy at 5'10" has got an arm that I'll put up there with anybody. He can throw it the length of the field, and he's going to get some time today, but Brian Baker and he both make a great tandem for this Everett Hawk offense.
The 7th play of the drive. The Hawks facing 4th down, and Jones puts hands on Thomas at the goal line, but the ball was away, and so as Everett made a stop on downs in the first quarter, the Coyotes repay the favor here in the second, and so that's essentially 2 takeaways now for Central Valley.
It is. They're big takeaways, especially when you talk about the depth that this Everett offense has. I talked with Coach Wells before the game, and he said, you know what, we're just going to kind of work JR into this thing. We're not going to throw it at him. He's just learning this offense. But if you look at what's going on now, he's using them quite a bit, and they're missing the offensive fluidity.
So now it falls to the defensive coordinator, Tony Missick, who last year was at Birmingham with Bobby Humphreys. Remember, Sean Alexander went to Alabama and broke all of Humphreys' records. Humphreys was released. Missick winds up here in Everett as Tony Wells' defensive coordinator, and he's done a great job, particularly with the quarterback pressure. We mentioned 7 sacks the last 3 games. Swing pass and the pick play. Brown doesn't get a lot. Ball comes out. Everett is on it. Brockman with the recovery. Penalty marker is thrown upfield. So we're going to have to wait on that.
Offense number 8. Penalties decline. First down.
Everett football.
Well, you talk about Tony Missick getting this defense in shape. These guys are flying to the football, making things happen. So you see all blue jerseys. Marvin Brown lets go of that ball, and there are no white jerseys. It's all blue jerseys. You see Fields gets a touch on it. Hassan Brockman finally ends up with it. He atones for his fumble earlier in the game. But I tell you what, a lot of turnovers early on for 2 offenses that in the last couple weeks have done a pretty good job holding on to the ball. Now, one of these offenses, let's hope it's Everett, takes advantage of one of those turnovers.
Had a chance last week at Stockton like this late in the ball game and failed to convert. They wound up winning the game, but Baker throws to the near side. Adrian Cockfield is wrapped up by Aaron Miller at the 10-yard line. A modest gain. 2nd down and 7 on the play.
Well, Brian, one of the things I've noticed in the last couple series, we saw they started out hot and were unable to keep that string going, is they got J.R. Thomas involved, but they almost got away from their offensive strategy in getting everybody involved. They started playing a little bit more sandlot football and say, hey, let me beat this guy. All you throw it up, I'll get it. They've got to get back to doing the things that have made them successful over the past 2 weeks.
Baker looking for Cockfield, and too much air under the ball. Cockfield was wide open.
Well, they run that Z loop play that they like to run on the goal line. They took away Brockman on that crossing route, and you betcha, Brian, Cockfield was wide open, dragging across the back, and I think Brian Baker just got a little too excited. It's something as a quarterback, when you get comfortable with a certain read and it's not there, all of a sudden you back off and you're not quite sure where you're going to go with the football. That time Baker finds Cockfield in the back of the end zone, but just airmails it a little bit. He knows that one's on him. He'll have to come back and make another throw here quickly.
Let's go back to the point you made before. As the field tightens up, you can't use Thomas's speed to stretch the field, can you?
No, you really can't. And it's got to be quick, decisive movements down there to make the defense commit one way or the other. You have guys going deep, you have guys going across, and you have guys staying underneath.
On the play, timeout Everett.
No flag, timeout taken by the Hawks. Baker started 6 for 6. He is 4 of his last 10, but the Hawks have a chance to take the lead again.
This is Wes, who not only is the proud holder of a Banner Bank savings account, he's also getting ready for the Pendleton Roundup, who is also a Banner Bank customer. Now, quite a few of the people who participate in the Roundup get their duds from Red's Clothing Company, one more Banner customer. And they frequent Big John's Pizza, where our friend Wes believes they make a darn good pizza. It just goes to prove that we're all in some way connected to the same bank.
Fiddler's Green, celebrating their 30th anniversary with an unrivaled selection of Callaway woods and irons, like this titanium X460 driver, Fusion irons, I-Trax, and Odyssey putters. Aim by design. Plus, Fiddler's is the only location in the southern Willamette Valley with Callaway's new driver fitting system. Be sure to enter to win one of our weekly prizes, where those winners automatically qualify for an expense-paid vacation to Pebble Beach for 2. Check out our website at fiddlersgreen.com or call 800-548-5500. Fiddler's Green, serving the Northwest golfer for 30 years.
FSN Live is your all-access pass to the action you live for and the teams you can't live without. FSN Live connects you to the players and events like no one else can.
When we get stopped like that, we're able to get out and run them.
With cameras on Northwest universities and in-depth analysis from Bill Kruger, Kevin Calabro, and Hall of Famers Lenny Wilkins and Warren Moon. Experience the Northwest sports scene like never before. FSN Live, where the action is. Tonight after the game.
I am sitting on top of the world, just rolling along, just rolling along. Ah, go get him, Billy.
The 2006 All-Star Game in HD. Live from Pittsburgh, July 11th, only on Fox.
Arena football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
Watch the Arena Football League, Season 20 on FSN.
With Jason Stiles and Jeff Aaron, Brian Davis, late first half at the Everett Events Center. Off of Hassan Brockman's fumble recovery. The Hawks facing 3rd down and 6 with a chance to take the lead late. Everett 0 for 2 on 3rd down tonight. Baker under pressure, will run. He's got a chance. The ball comes out and it's recovered by the Coyotes. Aaron Miller out of Oregon State with the recovery, and the drive dies right there.
But Brian Baker doesn't see anybody behind him. He takes off into open space, tries to leap up over the defender, and you see that defender puts a shoulder pad right on the football. A great look at it from behind the end zone. A hit just propels Brian Baker into the defender. The ball pops loose, and there's white jerseys all over the place. So Brian Baker at 6'5", 240, he goes flying. Big time contact by Central Valley, and so like we talked about in the pregame, the defense was going to be big. I just don't think we knew it was going to be this big, Brian.
Well, let's see. First play of the game, touchdown. Central Valley takes over. 4 plays there in the house. Everett comes right back and scores, and then it's been a couple of turnovers, a couple of stops on downs. Rizlov just out of the grasp of the defender. Brown defended by Torrey Butler. It's incomplete. Penalty marker is down in the end zone on the other side of the field. Butler didn't appear to look for that ball, but Brown couldn't handle it.
Well, I tell you, the reason Rizlov had the time he did to throw that ball is because, let's take a listen to the official here.
Offense, number 51. Penalties decline. Second down.
Take a look at this play. There's easy call for the referee. Is the hold's going to take place right here. You can see that as they're pushing Fields outside. They know who John Fields is. They know he's going to get after their quarterback. Good job by the referee seeing that. And that's why Rizlov had that extra time.
Well, that's Ricky Gaspar out of Linfield College in Oregon. That's why Fields couldn't get home. He came very close, though.
That's two small college guys going at him. Fields says, you might be the third best small college team in here.
You're warming up.
Linfield, you got Central. I don't know who that is.
You're warming up to Central Washington, aren't you?
Don't tell anybody.
Uh-oh. Harrell might have been drawn offside by a hard count by Rizlov. You take a look at the center, Dwayne.
Encroachment, defense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Clay Harrell is called for encroachment. Of course, you spent an awful lot of time going against Central in your days as a quarterback at Western Washington University. You guys were ranked #1, and I know you did have some good days against John Kitna and Central.
Yeah, we got them 3 out of 5, but the one that hurt is the one in the playoffs. They beat us, #1 in the country. They upset us, and they eventually went on to that national championship game, where in the worst rule in sports, they tied in the national championship game. So yeah, we had some great memories, and I think, you know, small college football in the Northwest is such a fantastic group of teams with Linfield and the PLUs and the Centrals and the Westerns, and we had a blast.
Rizlov will run any play at any time. Dwayne Toei Ilili out of Eastern Kentucky. Rookie center. Pass is batted down by John Fields. Boy, he had a chance.
He sure did. The big fella saw that yellow end zone and said, I need to do the hop, but he forgot to pick up that football first. You see he's telling the crowd, oh, so close. Is John Fields right now. We talked about his dominance in the pregame. He is all over the place. You see that play right there. The center cuts him down. Ricky Gaspar cuts him to the ground. John Fields does like an up-down. Those things he used to do for punishment. He pops right back up, bats that ball down, and talk about an individual effort. If he could have picked that ball off, we've been talking that one for a long time.
Central Valley is 5th in AF2, 53% on 4th down. And Marvin Brown moves the chains again. Jeff Farron from the backside. John Fields was coming right to your lazy boy if he'd have caught that ball.
Well, Brian and Jason, we've watched the Hawks start winning some football games lately, and maybe the #1 reason why has been the play of Fields, finally getting a pass rush, finally making big plays, creating turnovers. He's done all of that. 7 sacks in the last 2 weeks by the Hawks D-line, and it's made a big difference in this football team. It's made it much more competitive.
Pella again. I wonder if Rizlov is really hard counting.
He may very well be, but that's the 3rd one for Pella, and he's got to really figure out where his focus is, because he's hurting his Everett Hawks team right now. And this is a guy that's a big impact player in that interior line, and right now it's just not going well for him.
Still first down.
Pella also picked up a personal foul call, although you could have argued whether or not that really was roughing the passer, but you know that Tony Wells, who is a very disciplined guy, doesn't like to see that out of his players. Approaching the final minute now of the first half. Miller in motion the far side, the hand, the ball off to Matt Warner, the fullback. He's rumbling to the 15-yard line just inside, and another Central Valley first down. Time taken. Guardia on a 12-yard play out of San Diego State. Central Valley knocking on the door. Late first half, the 1-minute warning.
Poker Superstars 3 on FSN. The kings and queens of poker royalty face off in a star-studded duel competing for over $1.2 million. poker giants are ready for their close-ups. Who will be the last one standing?
Yes!
Poker Superstars 3, Sunday on FSN.
It's poker, baby.
I am sitting on top of the world, just rolling along, just rolling along. Ah, go get him, Billy.
The 2006 All-Star Game in HD. Live from Pittsburgh, July 11th, only on Fox.
FSN Live is your all-access pass to the action you live for and the teams you can't live without. FSN Live connects you to the players and events like no one else can.
When we get stopped like that, we're able to get out and run.
With cameras on Northwest universities and in-depth analysis from Bill Kruger, Kevin Calabro, and Hall of Famers Lenny Wilkens and Warren Moon. Experience the Northwest sports scene like never before. FSN Live, where the action is. Tonight after the game.
First two meetings between these teams, Central Valley scored a touchdown to deny Everett the halftime lead in the final minute. Both games. Rizla for Brown, hangs on to the ball, touchdown. Lightning strikes a third time for the Coyotes. They have their first lead of the night.
Well, they use the width of the field to allow Marvin Brown to come all the way across. Rizlov finally finds that angle. You see him looking left to right in that corner there. Marvin Brown comes across, and Dodd Masters really was lost. They're in the zone defense. He didn't really see it coming. He didn't see anybody behind him, which tends to point to lack of communication back there in the secondary. Nevertheless, the Coyotes put another score on the board and take their first lead of the game.
Central Valley's offensive line, which is really big, is delivering some punishment in the interior. Gockman's extra point is good, and the Coyotes on a two-game winning streak, punishing John Fields and the Hawks late in the first half. Coyotes with a 7-point lead over the Hawks.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Their Mondo burritos are our favorite by far. Life is good when you have your buddies and those tasty burritos from Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled. The action and entertainment are heating up in July at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5.
July 7th and 8th, Smokey Robinson returns to the Emerald Queen Casino. Smokey Robinson, the godfather of Motown, July 7th and 8th. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5 Tacoma, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Sometimes you're hungry enough for a Mondo burrito. Other times, it's enchiladas or tacos. Life is good when you have your friends and Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 Best Damn Beatdowns, the most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
That would sound it.
All right, and good night. You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
They've been giving some help now to Ricky Gaspar on the offensive line, and John Fields has more of a handful.
Everybody's going to take a step to their left. Gaspar is going to slide down, and he's going to pick up John Fields. The fullback is going to pick up John Fields, and he does a great job. And for the first time tonight, is really well handled. You see the helmet pop off and everything.
Calling all Hawks fans, a cast of Hawks stronger and louder together. Bring your group to the next Hawks home game. Your group of 10 or more will enjoy a discount off every ticket. Your group will be recognized during the game. Reserve your group tickets by calling the Hawks 425-252-4874. Extension 206. And between the goalposts, across the bar and into the netting and down. Touchback. Hassan Brockman will not get a chance to return this one, and so the Hawks will start from their own 5-yard line. Wes Bishorner is going to take over at quarterback. We mentioned Bishorner, small in stature but big in performance, as he led the Hawks to the victory last week at Stockton.
Well, I tell you what, small in stature has no bearing on this kid. When you're the runner-up for the Harlan Hill Trophy, you've proven to people that you can play football. This kid has a sling on him and can throw it downfield with the best of them. A lot of the guys on the team really like the way he throws the football. They love the way Brian Baker throws the football too, but it's a really good 1-2 punch. Let's see if he can rally the troops here at the end of the half.
Bishorner at 5'10" gives up several inches to Baker. Penalty marker is thrown. Brockman, the leaping catch on the crossing route, goes the wrong way and doesn't get but a yard more. Penalty marker is down at the line of scrimmage. Now, if you're 5'10" and Brockman talking things over with Wells, saying, hey, turn up field and go. That's what Wells is saying, don't you think?
Yeah, you can't go east-west. Every football coach will tell you it's got to be a north-south game, but I think this one might come back with Everett. I think Bishorner snapped the ball a little bit late.
Steve Kovac and his crew have been busy tonight. If you're a purist, you don't really like that. If you're Bishorner and at 5'10", how much better do you have to know the offense, the timing of the routes? How much more trust do you have to have with your teammates? Answer that after we hear from the referee. Well, maybe we'll hear from him right now, and maybe we won't.
Offense, number 4, half the distance to goal, still first down.
J.R. Thomas was offside.
And that one falls on the quarterback, Bishorner. He's trying to time the motion up. And again, J.R. Thomas is new to the program. He's at least a half step quicker than everybody on the field. But he gets that line of scrimmage before Bishorner's ready for him. The ball is snapped late, and Everett's offsides.
See nearly a season's worth against the Hawks in the first half, a full game's worth. Brockman catches, escapes, and scores! Well, I guess he's got the ability to go vertical. 48 yards.
Welcome to the ball game, Bishorner. A perfect pass and a great job of Hassan Brockman hanging on to that football as Lamonte Jones is trying to knock it loose. Ball just a tad underthrown, but you want to talk about bringing energy back into this crowd. Wes Bishorner and company just did it, and the Hawks now pull even.
Provided Hawley makes the extra point. His second half of the season has been much better, and he is perfect tonight. It's 21 aside, as this time it's Everett's turn to answer.
You want to talk about some fan involvement in arena football's intimacy with the fan population. Watch this guy right here. He's all about it. This guy wants a piece of the action. He goes over the top.
It's a good thing he didn't fall out just a little bit sooner. Brockman might have done a Mike Curtis on it. Or a Mike Ditka or a John Fields.
I don't know if that was a bet from the buddy sitting next to him or if that was just something he thought that would do to get the crowd fired up. The action was going on behind him as Hassan Brockman walks into it. And here's the proud papa right here.
Well, I think, you know, Dora the Explorer was just in the building, and they just reset the field and reset the dashers, and I think some of those pads might be a little bit loose, and the thing might have given way on it.
Well, blame it on Dora the Explorer then, Brian. That guy was 2 yards into the field of play. You gotta love the enthusiasm from the Everett Hawk crowd as Hassan Brockman walks into the end zone. Big play for that offense to get back on top, or excuse me, to pull even.
How about Brockman's game tonight? Last week, 5 catches for only 25 yards all night at Stockton. 5 catches for much bigger real estate here in the first half.
And he's a guy that if you get him involved, good things are going to happen to your offense, because whether it's for a 5-yard hitch or whether it's a play downfield like we just saw, Hassan Brockman is the heart and soul of this Everett offense. And when he says this is getting back to the old Everett Hawks of old, he means it. He's got the temperature on this ball club, and it's great to see him get involved here tonight.
Hawley with a little squib that winds up in the seats for a touchback. Mariners baseball on FSN. The M's are in Arizona looking for another road win against the Diamondbacks before returning home. Mariners, Diamondbacks tomorrow and Wednesday, 6 p.m. on FSN. And how about what the M's have done to the National League West in this round of interleague play? Unbelievable.
Well, I know Mike Hargrove says he doesn't like the interleague play, but I think if they go back at the end of all this and they look at the records, he said, yeah, not so bad.
Now remember, Rizloff has thrown a couple of touchbacks. Are they going to assess a penalty against Hawley for kicking that ball
out of bounds?
Out of bounds, they are. So Central Valley will start at the 20, but Rizloff, final minute touchdown passes here on April 30th and 2 weeks ago at Fresno. Not afraid to go for the jugular in a situation late in the half, because touchdowns scored or allowed late are real momentum makers and breakers.
Oh, no question. Going into the halftime locker room, if you can get a quick score in 25 seconds, is like 2 minutes in arena football. A lot can happen.
Rizloff gets a hand on him, but Jones finds himself all alone. Hip dances Butler into the end zone and scores. And look at Richard Dodd Masters beside himself with his teammate as Lamonte Jones celebrates with his teammates.
Well, it's one of those plays where he almost had, so go watch him in the pocket. He's able to sidestep. John Fields almost has him, but the time he can buy himself in the pocket and keep his eyes downfield is a sign of a great quarterback. And Scott Rizloff is certainly the best in the business in AM2. He capitalizes in a hurry, as we were talking about, and puts the Coyotes back on top.
Jones has caught 2 touchdown passes tonight, has caught 28 on the season. Rizloff has thrown 4 tonight for a season total of 75, as once again he stuns the Hawks in the final minute.
See, DeMonte Jones, he's going to come across, he's going to do a deep drag route across the field. There's going to be people clearing it out this way to leave that underneath space. Rizloff makes himself time in the pocket, and that allows Jones to clear the space, catch the ball, and walk into the end zone.
And afterward, Butler, who was faked out of his equipment, got an earful from his teammate Richard Dodd Masters. But see, now we talked about this team being grumpy during the week. They're grumpy in that they have been pushing each other to get better. And that was the challenge at practice this week, but it got so chippy that Wells finally said, hey, y'all are running. And they ran sprints the last 20 minutes of practice, but that's a good thing. The coaches like that because guys are pushing each other.
Yeah, if it's the right thing, if it's guys punching each other and pushing each other, that's not necessarily productive. But if it's guys that are pushing each other and trying to get each other better, it happens all the time in the game of football. I think Dodd Masters and Teray Butler, they're the 2 defensive specialists back there in the secondary. They work together like a pitcher and catcher in a battery. These guys know what each other's going to do, and so when they don't do it right, it's upsetting. They're going to communicate, and although it may seem a little bit demonstrative, they'll figure it out. And this is a high-scoring game, let's face it. Offense is at the advantage here. There's always going to be a lot of points put on the board. The Everett offense now has to come back and answer. Now, with 16.9 seconds left, keep in mind, during the arena football game, it's always a running clock. Inside of 1 minute of each half, the clock stops on every incompletion. So the Everett Hawks going to have a chance to go downfield a couple of times and make it happen. You got plenty of time to do it.
Ending the half like we started the ball game. Rapid fire scoring. Shorter has Myers. And he just runs out of bounds to stop the clock. Boy, Thomas was wide open. But, you know, when you're 5'10" and in the trees, sometimes that's hard to see.
Well, and that's what pressure does. It's a team ball game. You got to be able to protect. watch Thomas run right by the defenders, a total coverage breakdown. But again, if you can't block up front, you can't expect a quarterback to see what's going on downfield. Wes Bashorner got rushed a little bit, and J.R. Thomas and the Hawks missed a huge opportunity right there.
Hawks take timeout. Brian Baker is 6 foot plus, what, 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, he's big in there. Yeah, I think he's probably 6'4", 6'5". He's got a real big lower body, so even if guys are pulling on him, he can stand in the pocket there. A lot of times you hear about, say, well, he's not tall enough. Coach Tony Wells likes tall quarterbacks, but in arena football, the path to the quarterback is a lot tighter, and so you don't have as much to look over.
Wait. You know the game Where's Waldo? Right now, fans, you at home on FSN can play Where's Wes.
That's right. He's in there amongst the trees. Bashorner's right here. You can't see him. The only reason you can see him is because Milton Myers is standing there in front of him.
And he's even shorter.
I'll tell you what, though, the numbers that guy's put up, I'm sure he's tired of hearing about his height, because all he's done is throw touchdown after touchdown and win after win. So let's hope that here in the closing seconds of the first half, he can do it again.
Team in the league 6th in AF2 in completion average, but this time throws it to Jones, who is wrestled down by Tavarius Davis at the goal line with a second remaining. So third interception thrown by Bashorner this season, third turnover of the first half by Everett.
Well, you can tell the pressure's getting to the Hawks a little bit as Bashorner throws this one probably a little bit earlier than he wanted to, and Tavarius Davis on his end slowed down. By the time he looked up for the ball, he had to put it back into gear again. Thomas was able to sit back there and just play that one like 3 flies up. Tavarius Davis and Bashorner not on the same page to even pile on top of that. It happens with 1 second left, so there's more time for Rizloff and company, all of his 74 touchdown passes, to try and add to that.
Take a look at the height difference right there between Baker and Bashorner. You know Rizloff is going to air it out.
Oh, no question about it.
And he's got 1 shot and 1 second to do it. Jones, no, they don't. Kind of lay off of it. And
that's
where the first half, that's exactly right. Thank you very much. The first half ends, though, with Central Valley on a roll. A last-minute touchdown pass from Rizloff, his 4th of the night, his 75th of this AF2 season, giving Central Valley the touchdowns lead at intermission. Remember, the league record in AF2, 99. Rizloff remains on pace.
We see 2 of his touchdown passes. He's so accurate and able to find his receivers in a moment's notice. It's really, really tough to draw him into mistakes. Again, great pocket presence, and he's got some fantastic receivers too that do great things in the open field. And that time, Everett was just lost in the secondary. So a lot of points in a hurry to close out the first half, and the Coyotes go in with a 7-point lead over Everett.
Central Valley is right on pace for its season average of 56 points a game, which has them 5th in AF2. They're also 7th in total defense. Jeff Aaron with Tony Wells in front of the Everett bench.
Coach, your team got off to a fast start. Your wide receivers made a couple of big plays, 3 big touchdown plays. Let's talk about the good first and those big plays and maybe not enough of them.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes the bad overshadows the good, but we are playing pretty decent, but we're shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, penalties at the wrong time, simple mistakes. I mean, this team looks like a poorly coached team, and we're not. All right, we're going to be a lot better in the second half.
Your defense staunch throughout most of the first half, but gave up some easy touchdowns at the end.
Well, you know, I fault that on the offense because we put them in bad positions. We turned the ball over twice. I mean, we're not playing well on offense, and we got to correct it.
You got work to do. I'll let you talk to the team. Thanks, Coach. Brian, back to you.
Fish high pace to begin the ball game, high pace to end the first half. Central Valley at 7-4, looking to run its winning streak to 3 games. And a 7-point lead for the Coyotes at intermission over the homestanding Hawks at the Everett Event Center.
"14 inches longer, 40% more cargo space, now with available 3rd-row seats. And with a 30 mpg highway rating, you don't give up fuel economy. Toyota's all-new, bigger RAV4. It handles anything. Visit your local Toyota dealer and get the all-new 2006 RAV4 at a great low price. Toyota, moving forward.
He's my friend, and I'm happy to say we like peas in a pod. We like it that way, we got a bucket of laughs. It's a gas, and he's my very best friend. He's my friend till the...
No matter what you need the money for, a perfect fit loan from Sterling Savings Bank delivers. Stop by and let us find the perfect loan for you. Only from Sterling, the perfect fit bank.
Arena football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
Watch the Arena Football League, Season 20 on FSN.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 best damn beatdowns. The most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
Well, it sounded...
All right, and good night. You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
You missed FSN Live last night. You missed the action.
The Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my fifth. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Sure be to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' fifth elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
We knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
Coyotes with a 7-point lead at halftime at the Everett Event Center. It's the AF2 on FSN. Welcome back, Brian Davis and Jason Stiles, looking at an Everett team that started out like a house of fire. Touchdowns on its first two possessions, but then the unlucky 13. Combination of 10 penalties and 3 turnovers, although the Coyotes also got hit by the turnover bug. The Hawks just were not able to cash in.
The defense did a great job getting the ball for the offense. I saw Brockman recovering that fumble, but then Brian Baker rumbling up the right sideline, doesn't take care of the ball, takes a big shot. They get right back to Central Valley, and before you know it, Central Valley's back on top. It's 2 strikes from Rizlov. First one to Marvin Brown, and the second one to Lamonte Jones, who finds some open space after Rizlov does a great job buying himself some extra time, and the Coyotes lead by 7 at the half.
All those penalties, the turnovers cost the Hawks their offensive rhythm. Baker actually wound up being replaced by Wes Bishorner after starting 6 of 6, then going 4 of 10. Bishorner 2 of 3 individually, 51 yards, a touchdown, but he also threw an interception late in the half.
And I think the pressure of the Coyotes got to both Baker and Bishorner, as you find that they rushed their throws a little bit, the timing wasn't quite there, and ultimately it results in 3 turnovers, and 3 turnovers in arena football is a lifetime full, and you can't waste opportunities against good teams like Everett has done here in this first half.
Well, the story of the first half, which team regained its rhythm? The answer was Central Valley, and the Coyotes with a 28-21 lead as they try to sweep this 3-game season series over the Hawks. They are halfway home in Everett.
Do chaser hangover pills really work? It's an important question, especially if you're one of the millions who suffer a hangover after moderate social drinking. The answer is in how Chaser works. Just take 2 Chaser caplets with your first drink and 2 more later. Chaser is made of specially processed calcium carbonate and charcoal. These ingredients absorb toxins and acids, then pass them out of your system, kind of like a filter. The next morning, you'll wake up feeling great. And here's proof. In clinical trials, Chaser reduced hangover symptoms as much as 70% over placebo. 70%. Pain relievers only dull the agony once you have a hangover, and they carry serious alcohol warnings. But Chaser helps stop hangovers before they start. That's it. The simple facts behind Chaser. It absorbs toxins, then passes them from your system. Take it while you drink to help you wake up feeling great. Find out if Chaser's right for you. Chaser products are available at these fine stores, or for more information, go to chaseronline.com.
If you missed FSN Live last night, you missed the action.
The Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my fifth. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Tribute to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' 5th elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
We knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
When did anybody ever accuse me of being sane?
Presenting Friday Night Triple Play, your favorite movies 3 times in a row every Friday night. We are here whenever you're ready to watch. Uncut. Uncensored.
This is gonna be fun.
Commercial free.
That's strange.
In its original widescreen format, the way Fox Movie Channel likes it. Friday Night Triple Play, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Fox Movie Channel.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 best damn beatdowns. The most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
Well, it sounded... Oh, Ryan! And good night.
You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
Scott Rizloff bidding for the AF2 single-season touchdown record. Now 7 each of the first 2 games against the Hawks. He's got 4 in the first half. That's part of the story. Now, talk about great pitching. Baseball's greatest players gather for one spectacular night in the 77th All-Star Game. Don't miss the biggest names as they battle for home field advantage in the World Series. The 2006 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, July 11th on Fox. Hawks have a new weapon. His name is J.R. Thomas. He's got speed to burn, but he's going to have to use it if the home team's going to catch up in the second half.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Their Mondo burritos are our favorite by far. Life is good when you have your buddies and those tasty burritos from Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled. He's my friend, and I'm happy to say we like peas in a pod. We like it that way. We got a bucket of laughs. It's a gas, and he's my very best friend.
Your money is always close at hand with 1-2 free bill pay from Sterling Savings Bank. So now you can pay bills and manage your accounts anytime, day or night. 1-2 free bill pay, only from Sterling, the perfect fit bank.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Sometimes you're hungry enough for a Mondo burrito. Other times, it's enchiladas or tacos. Life is good when you have your friends and Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled.
If you like both kinds of music, country and western, the Emerald Queen Casino has got you covered.
July 15th, spend an evening with the legendary country star, Tanya Tucker. Find your Delta Dawn with Tanya Tucker before it's a little too late. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Emerald Queen Casino, I-5 Tacoma, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
If you missed FSN Live last night, you missed the action.
The Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my fifth. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Tribute to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' 5th elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
We knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
Start of the third quarter at the Everett Event Center downstairs in front of the Central Valley bench where Jeff Aaron has gone fishing.
We're with Coach Freddie Blitnikoff Jr. Coach, your team's been a second-half team all year. You got the lead at the half, but by the look on your face, you're not all that happy with your team's play.
You know, I don't know whether to be disappointed with our play a little bit or to applaud Everett. They've done a magnificent job down here, especially down here on the goal line down here. They stopped our run game down there, and you know, if they're going to make a score from the 25-yard line, we're going to do that.
All right, we'll see what you do in the second half. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Coach Freddie Blitnikoff Jr., back to you, Brian.
Fish, thanks very much. Blitnikoff has got an offensive reputation, but the defense has helped make it for them going third quarter.
Dunham Cellars has a business relationship account with Banner Bank, and they sell bottles of Cabernet Sauvignon to folks like Seattle area restaurant owner Gina Beck, another Banner customer who serves it in her restaurant, where one of the regulars is Eloisa Sanchez, who went to school with Eric Dunham, whose dad Mike owns Dunham Cellars. It just goes to prove that we're all in some way connected to the same bank.
Arena football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
Watch the Arena Football League, Season 20 on FSN.
From the heart of Las Vegas, this is the Poker Dome. MansionPoker.net and FSN bring you the series that is revolutionizing poker forever. With all new groundbreaking technology that puts you inside the game like never before. The future of tournament poker has arrived. The MansionPoker.net Poker Dome Challenge series continues Sunday on FSN.
He scored over 1,000 goals. He won 3 World Cups. He earned a reputation for honesty and fair play. Now, Pelé has joined a new team.
Tem muita gente decente trabalhando na indústria do cinema e nós temos que combater a pirataria por causa disso.
Rent, buy, or download, but do it legally.
E fazer gol de placa contra a pirataria.
Before the game, Central Valley won the coin toss and deferred. The gamble paid off. The Coyotes have built a 7-point lead and now get the ball to start the third quarter at the Everett Event Center. Craig Hawley out of the University of Washington is into the ball. James Lewis hauls it down, escapes a man, has room to midfield, runs into his own man, and Torrey Butler makes the tackle across midfield. Matt Guardia couldn't quite get out of the way, and Lewis with a decent return in any event into Everett territory.
Well, I think if you talk to Craig Hawley, he's saying he's far too involved in these kickoff plays. The couple of returns getting out towards midfield, Hawley does a nice job. You can't see him on the picture until the very end, but he forced that play back inside, causing Lewis to run into his own man. But that still gives the Coyotes pretty good field position on the Everett half of midfield to start this second half.
Rizloff came into the ball game into this weekend, tied with Brett Dietz of Louisville, who threw 12 touchdown passes a week ago. First touch of the night, I believe, for Wes Borba, who is one of Rizloff's main men. Bolitnikov told us during the week, he says, you know, we distribute the ball to so many different people. Everybody knows sooner or later he's going to get his touch, and Borba, with the first touch of the second half, he has hurt the Hawks at times this season.
He has. He's a great two-way player. He's a lanky 6'4". He's a kid that I had the opportunity to see play in college, played at St. Mary's. We played against Western, and he's a guy that in college he went both ways. He's that talented. He played free safety, he played wide receiver, and he's a guy that just makes plays at the right opportunity. And oftentimes you'll see him in arena football run to the yardage marker and turn around. Because he's as big as he is, he's able to shield off defenders. So he's a big possession guy. You'll see him on reverses. You might see him throw a pass or two. He's a guy that does it all for him.
6'3", 215. Against the Hawks 2 weeks ago, 6 catches, 64 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's in the slot to the far side now. Rizloff under pressure, looking for Borba, and draws the penalty flag. Interference against Lawan Edwards, who is playing his first down, I think, of the night in down and distance, recently signed from the University of Texas, but also a penalty marker near the line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense, pass interference, defense. Number 2, those penalties offset, replay, second down.
It's called dodging a bullet if you're the Hawks.
2 holds on the play. The first one's going to come at the line of scrimmage. They cannot contain Fields. Right here is the hold. That man is as big as a house, and he cannot stop Fields from throwing. The reason the hold happens on the defensive end in the secondary is because that lineman got pushed back into Rizlov, threw the ball flight off, and Everett did not have a chance to respond and get back, so we'll do it all over again.
Edwards out of West Texas A&M, and Vinatoa is off the chain and gone. Touchdown, Central Valley.
I got to tell you what, the running plays in arena football average about 2.8 yards. There have been 2 runs for Central Valley today that have gone for 10 yards plus. That, no question, being the biggest is Vinatoa, a guy that was in camp with the Utah Blaze in Arena Football 1 earlier this year, rumbles untouched into the end zone, a 20-yard touchdown to put Central Valley on top by 2 scores.
You know, the first play, they set it up with what looked to be a run formation, all bunched in tight. They throw a pass, and then they actually do hand it off to Natoa. This is a team that Gockman misses. Don't see that very often. This is a team that runs the football about a dozen times a game, which is atypical in AF2. Natoa's got family in the area. He is making them proud as he gives Central Valley a 2-score lead off the first touch of the 3rd quarter.
Some dogs fetch and roll over. Some dogs take you to Spain and shopping for refrigerators, help you get through grad school, start your own business, go on hikes in the Grand Canyon. Some dogs you trust with your life every day. Being partners with a guide dog is having the freedom to do what you want in life. Nothing more, nothing less. And with your help, nothing need ever change that. Call 1-888-884-DOGS or visit guidedogs.com.
Have you made the O part of your life? At Overstock.com, you'll find thousands of new products for your home, health, entertainment, and more at up to 70% off. Each order ships for a simple flat rate. The O Travel Store offers low booking fees, and O auctions are safer with their trusted merchant program. Plus, 24-hour customer service and a fraud protection team make online shopping safe for you. Make the O part of your life. Overstock.com. It's all about the O.
The FSN Baseball Report takes you around the bases of the national pastime. It's a half-hour packed with team reports, analysis with an inside pitch, the headlines and newsmakers, plus all the plays of the week. The FSN Baseball Report, Friday at 6.
Dart's most skilled players aim for the title of the greatest in the world.
Sweet, sweet dog!
See who's master of the board. World Championships of Darts, tomorrow on FSN.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 Best Damn Beatdowns, the most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
Well, it sounded...
Oh, Ryan, and good night. You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
If you missed FSN Live last night, you missed the action.
The Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my 5th. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Tribute to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' 5th elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
We knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
Ryan Davis, Jason Stiles, Jeff Aaron at the Everett Event Center. Vinatoa, his longest run of the season until the 20-yard touchdown he just scored was 8 yards. Gockman, the second leading kick scorer in AF2, missed the extra point, but it is a 13-point lead for Central Valley, and that will go as a touchback. Jeff Aaron, we were talking to Fred Bolitnikoff Jr. during the week. That guy is a character, isn't he? And you know he's enjoying this right now. He's kind of an aw-shucks guy, but he's got some assassin in him, too.
Well, he definitely has a certain degree of cockiness, bordering a little on arrogance, which I don't know if that's a bad thing in football, but I asked him beating a team 3 times in one season. He says, well, I guess if we do, we own them, don't we? And just the way he said it. I was talking to the assistant coach during the halftime break, And he said this is a second-half team. They've outscored just about everyone in the second half, play their best football in the second half, and with a 13-point lead just a few minutes into the second half doesn't bode well for the Hawks. But I would believe with their new wide receiving crew and the new fast guy in J.R. Thomas, they might have a little more comeback ability. And after all, arena football with a lot of points on the board. So here we go, step one of recovery right now for the Hawks offense.
Well, one thing you got to remember, Fish, is that last week, for instance, against Amarillo, the Coyotes only allowed 12 points in the second half, shut them out in the third quarter. So they know how to dial it up on both sides of the ball. Bashorner to Brockman for the first down.
A nice job of Bashorner recognizing the coverage. Haslip stood as if he was going to jam J.R. Thomas off the line at the last second, bailed to the middle of the field very loosely. That allowed Brockman to come across the middle. Bashorner stands tall in the pocket and delivers a nice strike for a first down gain.
Brockman's 6th catch of the night. We'll take a look at Bashorner's numbers. 17 yards, almost 18 yards per completion, ranks him 6th in AF2. He's waiting for Thomas to hit the line as the motion man under a rush. Scrambling, getting rid of the ball. Pele's got it. Penalty marker is thrown on the near side at midfield, but he bails out to Afoma Pele. Weren't you just saying the other day the big guys love to touch the ball?
That's why it draws them to the Arena Football League. They know they're going to get a chance to touch the football. They're as eligible as anybody else on the field if they declare themselves as the tight end. I think, though, this is going to, right now they're talking about an eligible man downfield because it took Bashorner so long to scramble around and get that thing. Clay Harrell was downfield looking for a block. Now they're trying to figure it out and determine if, in fact, that's what they saw.
That's the preliminary call.
Receiver number 56, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
That goes against Chris Ekweme. We thought it was Harrell here on the near side. And look at Bashorner dancing in the trees.
Some old Jim Zorn footage right there almost.
Yeah.
Well, anytime that play was designed to be a screen play set up for Pele, but with the pass rush kind of blew that up. Bashorner bought himself some time. The up front guys, the linemen, they don't know that. So Ekweme, he's releasing to go block that second level defender, not knowing Bashorner scrambling around. It's kind of a tough play if you're Ekweme because you don't know what's going on behind you.
11th penalty of the night against the Hawks. Davis all alone on the far side. First down for the Hawks. And J.R. Thomas was once again even farther downfield all by himself, but the Hawks will take that. Devarius Davis played at Central Florida under Mike Kruzak, who is now the quarterbacks coach of the Arizona Cardinals.
And he knows about big TD. TD at 6'4", 6'5", is a big target. And a guy that in the Arena Football League is a fantastic two-way player because of his size in the middle of the field. That time, though, we see him use his size to convert extra yardage.
You know, he was out of the game last year, just couldn't find anything that worked for him financially. He just bought a house, so he drove a truck delivering patio furniture. Bashorner bails out Brockman in the neighborhood, so this will just go as an incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10.
Well, I tell you, the receivers for Everett are finding open holes. I think the rush is getting to Bashorner a little bit because J.R. Thomas has found some seams. He's beating that jam right now, but through discussion with the halftime locker room or what have you, they're going underneath. It's not bad to take what the defense gives you, but sometimes you got to take advantage of what's there.
This goes back to Bashorner at 5'10", needing to know where his guys are going to be, that communication, that knowledge of this guy going to be out of his break when I throw the ball there, that trust. Davis is clearly a man Bashorner trusts. 1st and goal, Hawks.
Because of that pressure, Coach Tony Wells says, hey, you know, let's get back to basics. Just hit that 3rd step and get it out. They do use J.R. Thomas in this play, though. The high motion corner, you see Devarius Davis just kind of hang out on the side there. He lets the defense go with J.R. Thomas. Then he takes his 6'4" frame, gets another 1st down, and now they're knocking on the door at the goal line.
Davis last week at Stockton, 4 catches, 2 touchdowns. Brockman is the motion man. Bashorner floating the pass that way. Brockman with the one-handed attempt. He was interfered with by Haslip.
Yeah, Haslam knew he was beat off the line of scrimmage. Because again, that Z-loop play where if the defensive back backs off, he stops, but he presses him. So off the line, Brockman's going to go to the back of the end zone. And yeah, there's nothing that would keep the referee from throwing the flag on that play. I don't know what Haslip is complaining about, but
that XL just turned into a double X.
Yeah, it sure did. Brockman wanted 6, but he got the flag instead. Gives him another opportunity to go right back at Central Valley. And I think if you're Coach Tony Wells, you got to like the way your offense has responded after Central Valley puts up 2 quick scores in the second half. The Hawks now are knocking on the door with a chance to capitalize.
One thing I thought coming into the ball game tonight would be key red zone possessions, because Central Valley is pretty good at it, and Everett has struggled at times inside the opponent's 10-yard line. This time, though, the big man gets the call. Willie Shine, touchdown.
I think they're calling it down, Brian. It looks like 2 arms down there from our vantage point. But I think it's 1 arm spotting the ball just inside the 1-yard line. But I agree with you. I think Willie Shine might have pushed it over the goal line. That's a big fella going north-south, lowering a shoulder on Wes Borba.
That's a good call.
Good call by the officials. I think we could pull.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, the ground called the fumble. Never mind.
I think we could pull Wes Borba, and he would say, you know what, if they're going to run that play, please take me out, because Willie Shine is far too big of a man for me to be taken head-on like that.
So on 2nd and goal, Bishorner scores.
So they go from one of the biggest guys on the field to probably the smallest, but Bishorner finds a crease and puts Everett back on the scoreboard.
Wes Bishorner on a well-blocked play.
I got to tell you, Brian, that's one of the advantages to maybe being a little bit undersized is the fact you get behind some of those big hogs, the defenders can't find you. You can find that crease and squeak in there in a hurry in short yardage situations. That's exactly what Wes did there.
That's where 5'10" helps you. They can't find you. But Hawley finds the middle of the uprights out of Bishorner's hold. It's a 6-point game. Hawks back within 1 score, challenging Central Valley at the Event Center.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Their Mondo burritos are our favorite by far. Life is good when you have your buddies and those tasty burritos from Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled. He's my friend, and I'm happy to say we like peas in a pod. We like it that way. We got a bucket of laughs. It's a gas, and he's my very best friend. He's my friend.
Perfect Fit Checking from Sterling Savings Bank. Designed to fit your life and your lifestyle perfectly. Choose from free to fully loaded and everything in between. Only from Sterling. The Perfect Fit Bank.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Sometimes you're hungry enough for a Mondo burrito. Other times, it's enchiladas or tacos. Life is good when you have your friends and Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 best damn beatdowns. The most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
Well, it sounded... Oh, right hand. Good night.
You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
The FSN Baseball Report takes you around the bases of the national pastime. It's a half-hour packed with team reports, analysis with an inside pitch, the headlines and newsmakers, plus all the plays of the week. The FSN Baseball Report, Friday at 6.
Dart's most skilled players aim for the title of the greatest in the world.
Sweet, sweet dog!
See who's master of the board. World Championships of Darts, tomorrow on FSN.
Said just before kickoff that it was another night in paradise indeed. No prettier spot on earth when the weather is good than the Puget Sound. Hassan Brockman, just about. but Emmett White tripped him up as he blew through that gap. Nice seal, but a great effort by White to stop Brockman at the 13-yard line. Penalty marker thrown after the play. Somebody got mouthy.
77 on the defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Must have been a taunting foul against James Landers.
Well, if you're going to do that, you probably do it outside of point-blank range from the referee. Landers picked some bad timing to do that. As the referee standing right there, you thought he might have been part of that conversation. Everett will take the added yardage as you see Bashorner back on the field trying to engineer another drive for the Hawks to cut that lead back down to 1 score.
Landers gave J.R. Thomas one of the biggest receptions that he got. Landers been in AF2 for a long time, so I guess he knows everybody. Here's Brockman. Motion to the far side. Bashorner in trouble and brought down, sacked by Emmett White, who is having a huge second half.
One of the things that changing the motion man does for Everett, it gives them different looks, but it takes away their ability to stretch the field. Hassan Brockman is a 4-5 guy. That's fast. He's really loose at his hips so he can move around. J.R. Thomas is a 4-2-8 guy that stretches that defense and allows for underneath coverage. That time Hassan Brockman was the motion man. They weren't able to get any separation.
Bashorner stumbles. Penalty marker is thrown. Davis is hogtied by Maurice Taylor. Jeff Farron, you gave us that scouting report on Emmett White, but you're fired. You didn't tell us the dude could play defense too.
Well, I don't know that he holds any NCAA records defensively, but you know what? It was funny. He came into the end zone for the kickoff, and I said, "Hey, Emmett, we just talked about your record," because I said, "You still hold it, right?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I'm going to have my family watch the Fox Sports Northwest broadcast because he wants to get his props to his family." So he knows he holds the record, and I'm sure he wants no one to break it.
Well, you do that, and Thomas was offside. You know, you have a night like that. I mean, that's a Vince White kind of night.
You know, I think that a lot of players could try that against air and probably not get as many yards as he did against a real team. You got to spend a lot of time on the field to get up to those yards. Emmett White can certainly be commended for that in college, and he's making a big impact here tonight.
Bashorner on 3rd down. Leaping attempt is made. Bashorner led Brockman too much. Another penalty marker is thrown.
You look at Hassan
Brockman. I meant Vince Young, by the way, not Vince White. People are going, who's Vince White? Well, Vince White. That's Vince White down there, number 1 White. How many penalties in this game? That has just killed the rhythm here.
Offside, offense, number 11. Penalties decline, 4th down.
The referee's got to get their airtime too, you know, Brian.
Davis was the motion man, I think. Again, another motion violation.
Well, with the positives of changing quarterbacks and increasing that momentum, also comes some negatives. A lot of times the snap count is different from quarterback to quarterback, and a lot of just simple offsides penalties that kill drives and kill momentum. And it seems like in this second half, with every play, comes a yellow hanky.
Here comes Thomas. Hawks 1 for 1 on 4th down. Brockman. They cleared him out. Brockman's got the first down and is punished by White. And he wants. He says, "You know what? Go ahead, hit me in the chops. That's just fine. I'll take the first down. 1st and goal, Hawks."
Watch this one coming right at you in your living room. Hassan Brockman comes across the field, goes back inside. Boom! He does not see Emmett White. He wishes he had, because he probably would have stayed outside. But Hassan Brockman, a physical play, gets the crowd back into it. And once again, Everett knocking on the door.
17-yard play. Bashorner sets, now escapes. Just a little bit over Hassan Brockman's head to bring the 3rd quarter to a close. Hawks trying to atone for the commission of 3 turnovers that have left them down 12. They got a chance to get some of that back as we start the 4th quarter. Central Valley with a 12-point lead after 3 at the Everett Event Center.
Ken Moore has a business relationship account with Banner Bank. Now, when Todd Banks of Kenmore Air needs help with his taxes, he might call Banner customer Chip Davidson at Davidson, & Hawkins CPAs. Now, Chip also handles the books for his friend Bill Grift at Seattle Home Appliance. And when Bill and Chip go off to the San Juans with their wives, guess who they call? Todd Banks at Kenmore Air. It just goes to prove that we're all in some way connected to the same bank.
The action and entertainment are heating up in July at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5.
July 7th and 8th, Smokey Robinson returns to the Emerald Queen Casino. Smokey Robinson, the godfather of Motown, July 7th and 8th. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Emerald Queen Casino I-5 Tacoma, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
FSN Live is your all-access pass to the action you live for and the teams you can't live without. FSN Live connects you to the players and events like no one else can.
When we get stopped like that, we're able to get out and run.
With cameras on Northwest universities and in-depth analysis from Bill Kruger, Kevin Calabro, and Hall of Famers Lenny Wilkins and Warren Moon. Experience the Northwest sports scene like never before. FSN Live, where the action is. Tonight after the game.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 best damn beatdowns. The most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
Well, it sounded... Oh, Ryan! And good night.
You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
The FSN Baseball Report takes you around the bases of the national pastime. It's a half hour packed with team reports, analysis with an inside pitch, the headlines and newsmakers, plus all the plays of the week. The FSN Baseball Report, Friday at 6.
Hawks could use anything they can get, any way they can get it, even that away. To start the fourth quarter, Brian Davis, Jason Stiles, Jeff Aaron at the Everett Events Center. Central Valley looking to complete a season sweep of the Hawks and a 12-point lead as we begin the fourth quarter. Second and goal from the Central Valley 9. Bishorner to throw, intercepted by Haslip. Penalty marker is thrown at the 5 and then in the backfield as Bishorner was leveled. But Haslip with what would be Central Valley's second interception of the night and their 19th of the season.
It was great coverage by the Coyotes too on that play. Not a whole lot of option for Bishorner trying to thread the needle.
Illegal rush on the defense. Penalties decline.
They'll come back.
Roughing the passer. Defense, half the distance to goal. Automatic first down.
That'll come back. Ball stays with the Hawks. They've dodged a couple bullets. Bishorner in the third quarter, 5 of 7, 52 yards. Boy, he's trying to thread that needle amongst a bunch of 6'3", 6'4", 285, 290-pound trees.
Yeah, he's got to throw in between the trees, and really every quarterback throws in lanes. That time, just great coverage.
Shine cartwheeled and loses his helmet as he is upended at the line of scrimmage. 1-yard gain for Willie Shine.
And you can tell Willie Shine is not quite comfortable back there yet. The mesh between the quarterback and the fullback on a running play. When you see Shine as tight as he is to the line of scrimmage, it's got to happen right now. And when Wes Bishorner is turning and holding the ball out there, that gives defense time to react. The hole closes down, and nothing's doing on the run play.
Chris Ekwemi is the center. Bishorner is going to run with it. Extends, but Borba will not let him reach the goal line. It'll be third down and goal from the 1. Bishorner, well, they are really collapsing the pocket in a hurry now up front.
Well, and he looks for his first read, doesn't find it. Anytime you got to hold the ball like that in arena football, it makes it tough. Finds a little seam, then every inch of that 5'10" body stretches out, tries to get there, but Wes Borba, credit him with a nice open field tackle. We talked about his ability to play both ways. He did a nice job right there breaking down in the open field against a pretty shifty Wesper Sherman.
Playing the jack linebacker is Borba. The shoulder touchdown. Candy from a baby, no less.
You want to talk about over pursuit. Watch everybody go with shine. But Schorner has nobody to worry about at all. You see him climb the ladder there, celebrate with the Hawk fans. And they pull back within a score as Craig Hawley attempts the extra point.
Out of the Schorner's hold. Hard rush. And Hawley misses. Penalty marker is thrown as Hawley is upended by Langenfeld. Doug Langenfeld with 6 quarterback sacks to lead the Coyotes, and he came around that left edge hard.
He sure did. We haven't called his name much as he leads the Coyotes in sacks, but this time we might get his number called.
They went to Spokane a couple of weeks ago, lost by 2. Langenfeld missed that game back home after a death in the family.
Referee still sorting things out here.
Into the kicker, number 77 on the defense. Half the distance, retry.
You know what? Landers came from the other side and got him first, obviously.
Well, and the initial part of that discussion is they thought the ball was tipped off of the kick, and if that's the case, I guess they're saying it's freeway to the kicker.
Exactly.
If
you touch it, then it doesn't matter if you make contact.
You mentioned that game that Central Valley played against Spokane. They lost 61-59 in that game. A field goal to end the game by Central Valley. Very controversial. The referees called it no good. Central Valley thought it was good, and that cost them the ball game.
High snap, and this one is blocked by Landers. But Schorner does well to gather it in before Haslip can pick it up and run with it. So it remains a 6-point game. Landers ×2. The Schorner doing the bird dance, the end zone, but the Hawks are still in the hole.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Their Mondo burritos are our favorite by far. Life is good when you have your buddies and those tasty burritos from Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled.
Life comes at you fast. Invest wisely. Invest with Nationwide. Investments, retirement, insurance.
Nationwide is on your side.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Bud Light. Arte Batuta.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Sometimes you're hungry enough for a Mondo burrito. Other times, it's enchiladas or tacos. Life is good when you have your friends and Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled.
And here's the play at the plate. Kenji Jojima digs in. Stops the runner in his tracks. What a collision. And he got it. What a play.
You missed FSN Live last night. You missed the action.
the Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my fifth. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Tribute to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' 5th elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
I knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
Let's see, 20 penalties. Ah, guess what? 21 penalties now, an illegal twist. The block of the extra point negated. Hawley for the 3rd time. It is the charm. And it's a 5-point game as the shorter gets it down and Hawley makes good. Everett Hawks football on FSN Northwest, brought to you by Story Construction, a proud partner of the Everett Hawks, and by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Everett Hawks, offering over 3,000 nonstop flights to 62 destinations all across the country. Not up here in Everett where they build the big birds, but of course Boeing builds a lot of 737s for Southwest Airlines. It's the only aircraft that Southwest flies. How many football fields could you fit inside that building? I can't remember the count. I knew once, but bottom line, it's a lot.
Well, that picture keeps on going and going, so I know it's a whole lot. You talked about flying. The Everett Hawks are looking to get back in the air, get some momentum with their defense. They've kept this game within 1 score, but their defense hasn't quite showed up yet this second half. Scott Rizlov and company with the Coyotes have really gotten things going offensively. Here's going to be the defense's chance. Get this crowd in the game and get the offense the ball back.
So a 5-point game and the improbable dream remains alive. This is a team that started 0-7, has won 3 out of 4. You pretty much have to run the table and get to 500. Coming in at 3-8, you got to finish with 5 in a row and finish at 8-8 to have a prayer of the playoffs. But even if it doesn't work for you that way, you've got a chance to dent the Coyotes wagon big time, as they came in tonight a game and a half off of Spokane's lead in the National West.
There's still possibilities for Everett. They've got to take it game by game. We talked to Tony Wells during the week, and he said, you know what? Until we beat a quality team like Central Valley, what we've done to this point really doesn't matter. So this game is the biggest game, obviously, right now for Everett Hawks. If they can capitalize against Central Valley, they look to next week, and you never know what can happen. But right now, they're 7 points down.
Lewis again off the bounce. Hawley's gotten some good bounces, but Lewis gets some good blocking, and he's out across the 10-yard line to start Rizlov and the Central Valley offense.
I credited Central Valley with a few more points. Actually, just a 5-point lead due to a couple missed extra points on the part of the Coyotes. But regardless of those extra points, this game is going to be won by whether or not Everett can stop Scott Rizlov, who's 15 of 20 for 166 yards and 5 TDs. Keep in mind, 14 TDs, 7 apiece in the first 2 meetings with these 2 teams. 2 weeks ago, Everett was able to intercept him a couple times, but it didn't keep him out of the end zone enough, and Rizlov led him to victory.
Well, 7 is his season high, and you see he's got 5 with almost a full quarter to go. Looking for Borba over the top. Dodd Masters chucks him at the end of the play and will be called for a personal foul.
I don't like that at all, Brian. I got to tell you, you got to let these guys play. It's a physical football game. This back judge is throwing flags for no reason.
Well, he did. I thought he caught his head though, and you can't chuck a guy like that.
After the play, personal foul, number 9 on the defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Take a look at Wes Borba, clearly overthrown Dodd Masters. Yeah, the little forearm shiver to the back of the neck. I mean, whose house are we in anyway? This is the Everett Event Center.
Come on now.
Yeah, the forearm shiver will get that call every single time. So referee did a nice job staying on that play. So I was a little bit of a homer on that call. But
yeah. Hey, listen, we talk about Rizlov with 5 touchdown passes. How about Dietz in Louisville throwing 12? Did you ever throw 12 touchdown passes in a game in your dreams?
I think I dreamed about it, but it always ended up as about 7 games into the season by the time we got there.
Brown in motion. Rizlov with time, looking for Jones, touchdown.
So right out of the penalty, the personal foul penalty, one of the few mistakes Rizlov has made in overthrowing his receiver, That play's negated, and he comes right back to red hot as he finds his favorite target, Lamonte Jones. Again, coming across the field on that post route, Milton Myers is nowhere to be seen until they get to that goal line, and just like that, the Coyotes have recaptured that momentum, and this crowd is now back on its keisters in the seats, not knowing what just hit them.
Scott Rizloff just hit him with his 6th touchdown pass of the night.
And you might ask yourself, boy, is he just hot against Everett? No, he's had 7 touchdown passes in 8 different games this season. So you don't get to, 76 touchdown passes now, 77, excuse me, touchdown passes on the season without having big nights against everybody.
Well, that was a frozen rope to Jones and a great route run. Rizloff has quickly reestablished the Coyotes' 2-score lead.
Late night sports action on FSN is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Visit Jack in the Box for everything late night.
He's my friend, and I'm happy to say we like peas in a pod. We like it that way. We got a bucket of laughs. It's a gas, and he's my very best friend. He's my friend too.
No matter what you need the money for, a perfect fit loan from Sterling Savings Bank delivers. Stop by and let us find the perfect loan for you. Only from Sterling, the perfect fit bank.
Toyota measures success the same way you do, by getting better every day. Like Avalon, named an IntelliChoice Best Overall Value of the Year. Or Toyota Sienna, the first minivan to receive a double best pick from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Now get a new 06 Sienna with 4.9 financing or $750 cash back. For great deals on other great cars, log on to Toyota.com. And keep doing what you do best. We will too. Toyota, moving forward.
2 Sonics experts. 1 dynamic team. Calabro and Wilkins, coming this fall only on FSN. You're watching FSN, where Northwest fans come first.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Backed by popular demand, it's the top 50 best damn beatdowns. The most unbelievable, intense hour of television ever. Witness the mayhem when we count down the baddest beatdowns ever captured on TV.
Well, it sounded...
All right, and good night. You're sure to get a kick out of it. Don't miss out. The beat is on.
This week at 10:30.
I am sitting on top of the world, just rolling along, just rolling along. Go get him, Billy.
The 2006 All-Star Game in HD. Live from Pittsburgh, July 11th, only on Fox.
J.R. Thomas, who caught a long touchdown pass early in the ball game with the kickoff return, but runs right into a brick wall named J.R. Kellemany, 290 pounds worth out of northern Colorado. Stopped shy, well, right at the 10-yard line. And the Shorner brings the Everett offense back onto the field. Kellemany, look at the emotion there. You know those guys are feeling it.
No question about it. That time, J.R. Thomas just ran right into Kellemany's lane. So he went from north-south to right on his back in the split second there. And Kellemany brings that emotion right back to the sideline.
Myers in motion to Shorner in the trees. Evades the sack. Borba pins him in at the 14-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Now, Lamonte Jones, 7 catches, 112 yards, 3 touchdowns. Scott Rizloff, the author of that story.
Rizloff all night long has found Lamonte Jones. You look at earlier in the game with Marvin Brown. Earlier in the year against Marvin Brown. Once again, Lamonte Jones, we've been calling his number all night. Now tonight, You come back, there's a play action pass. Rizloff has found his receivers in every possible way to just absolutely kill the Everett Hawks secondary.
20 touchdown passes against the Hawks this season. Myers has a first down as he gathers in it, and Jones finishes him off.
Rizloff's a guy that spent time in Cincinnati Bengals camp. He's with the Nashville Cats of Arena 1 all of last year. Kind of got into a logjam with quarterbacks there. We talked to Bolitnikov Jr. He said, you know what, unfortunately for us, this is just a one-year stint for Rizloff. He's going to be back up in Arena 1, but while we have him, he's sure making an impact.
26% of his scoring passes against one team, and unfortunately, if you're a Hawks fan, it's your team. Threw the 2 interceptions 2 weeks ago. Bishorner from Myers. Gets off his man, loses the football inside the 5-yard line. Borba with the recovery. The 4th turnover of the night for Everett. Those are the kind of missed opportunities that Tony Wells was talking about, you know, drive him crazy.
Well, it's Milton Myers trying to fight for extra yardage, and similar to Hassan Brockman, just unable to do it.
Maurice Taylor forced the fumble.
We talked about it in the first half, 4 turnovers in an arena football game. You only get a chance to make stops a couple different times. If your offense is turning the ball over at the rate they are, you really are giving your team no chance at all to match score for score. And you've got a guy like Scott Rizloff coming back into the huddle to try and add more to it. Your defense has got to feel a little bit decimated. And like Coach Wells said at the halftime break, you know, you put it more on the offense. You're putting their defense in bad positions, and here's another one.
Props to the Coyotes, on the other hand. That plus 19 now on the turnover table leaves them at the top in AF2. Motion man Jones was across the line before the snap, so this will come back against Central Valley. And that goes to that plus 19. That goes to the point that we made earlier about, Bolitnikov, who, by the way, is the offensive coordinator. Excuse me just a second. He's the offensive coordinator at Fresno City College.
Side, offense, number 5, half the distance to goal, replay first down.
But he has made this team's way this year. Now they're sitting in position to win their 3rd consecutive and go to 8-4 on the year. He's made this team's way by what he's done on defense, Jason.
He sure has. He's done it with some fantastic athletes, and he's added some new coaches to the fold. The guy that I played against, and Steve Pappin, we'll have a chance to talk about him a little bit later.
Rizloff, pump fake, downfield for Jones, who Dodd Masters got away, tugged his jersey and got away with it. Jeff Aaron, you talk about the defensive improvements on Bolitnikov's staff and on this team. Hey, what do they say? Defense wins championships.
Fred Bolitnikov Jr. told me that he has 2 new players coming in, and that's what's strange about AF2. You can pick up players all year long. There doesn't seem to be really any rules of acquiring players. He has a guy named Josh Robinson and Michael Lawrence coming next week. Michael Lawrence is an offensive specialist who just came out of a Denver Broncos camp, was in the Minnesota Vikings camp as well. And he says, if you want to see fast, check out this guy. But he says they'll take this league by storm, whether that's the arrogance of Fred Bolitnikov or if the players will take the league by storm, we'll find out. But they have reinforcements on the way.
Well, Rizloff has reinforcements on the way. Wes Borba is in the end zone for a touchdown. 46 yards. Rizloff was drilled when he got rid of the football, and Borba celebrated over much, I think, and will pay for it on the other side. But you know something? The horse has got a couple of hooves out of the barn and is fixing to run down Broadway here.
Borba is a guy that's been quiet all night long. He comes into the game with 17 touchdowns.
Defense number 97, that penalties declined. Touchdown.
Pela again.
Now Borba will be assessed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty at the end, but well, this is beginning to look strangely like the date here, April 30th, under previous management when the Coyotes won 60-41. One thing, though, the difference, I think on that night, the Hawks gave up. Tonight, I just think they're just too beat up. And one of the things that Tony Wells talked about during the week is, boy, we'll be glad to get to the bye week, which they have next weekend, because we've got some guys that are hurting for certain.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like they're going to be limping into that bye weekend now. Down another score. Keep in mind, this is a team that averages 55 points a game. If it weren't for the fact that they were held to 28 in one game, they'd probably be over 60.
Well, they are definitely in the driver's seat now, up 19 in the waning stages.
If you missed FSN Live last night, you missed the action.
The Mariners' big man has a big day, sparking the offense in San Diego.
I told him that when I came in after my fifth. I said, that's Ichiro style right there.
Tribute to our club that we came back like that.
In the Oregon State Beavers' 5th elimination game, they found themselves down 5-0 early.
We knew from the beginning this was our time. We're ready for that kind of situation.
FSN Live everywhere, every night.
It's television's most prestigious fishing tournament, FLW Outdoors.
Look at the bend in that rod.
The ultimate weekly challenge in competitive fishing.
Woo! Huge fish.
Follow the world's top anglers as they go head-to-head in a race to hook the day's most elusive catch. And battle it out for the right to be crowned world champion. FLW Outdoors, Sundays on FSN.
I am sitting on top of the world, just rolling along, just rolling along. Ah, go get him, Billy.
The 2006 All-Star Game in HD. Live from Pittsburgh, July 11th, only on Fox.
Well, that sort of tells the story right there. A little bit of dejection in the house now as Central Valley, well, we talked about their ability as a second-half team, and they have poured it on late. Brockman can't field, so a touchback, and Bashorner and company will start again deep in their own territory. Jason Brian Baker started out 6 for 6, then went through a stretch where he was 4 out of 10. Bashorner replaced him at the end of the first half, but clearly Central Valley has figured out a way to put enough pressure on Bashorner. You wonder, okay, do you go back with the tall guy who can see the field?
I think that has less to do with it and more the fact that they're both getting pressured. I think Brian Baker was settling for some underneath stuff at the end of that first half and maybe missing some opportunities. Well, Wes Bashorner has done the same thing, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. I just don't think that either one of the quarterbacks are on the same page with J.R. Thomas, having only thrown to the guy 1 or 2 times during the week.
Well, he's looking for him now and overthrows it. That time Haslip had pretty good coverage on Thomas, the speedster out of Indiana of Pennsylvania.
Well, and Central Valley now can kind of sit back a little bit knowing, hey, these guys are going to have to go for some big strikes here. That play right there is almost, you know what, we're going to throw it up and see what happens. And as a coach, when things aren't working, you kind of go back to that and say, you know, well, let's just try and throw it up to our big guy. That time, the defense for Central Valley was playing very, very deep, and even J.R. Thomas wasn't able to absorb that pressure.
Again, hard rush. Brockman left alone, gets around Miller, has a chance, stumbling inside the 5-yard line. Hawks will take it. 1st and goal.
Brockman's a guy that when he gets the ball in his hands, he's almost got eyes in the back of his head, able to discern where the defenders are in the field. He's so good at the ball. After the catches, he look and cut east-west and finally go north-south to get inside the 5-yard line. Such effort from number 80 for the Hawks. He's a fun guy to watch.
A lot of yak, 33 yards. And the big guy is dropped. Well, that wasn't particularly pretty or effective.
You stack it up like that, and it comes down on the goal line. There's not a whole lot of room. We've talked about it before. You've got 5 defenders to your 3 blockers. There's not going to be a whole lot of room. That time there was none for the Hawks.
Newly acquired Thomas McKenzie at fullback. Bashorner going the other way. And he's strung out by Haslip and gets, in the end, nothing out of it. I think we've got a microphone over there, and if you're Mama or Papa Bashorner, cover your ears.
A lot of times you hear those videos, you think those sounds are manufactured. I think that shows everybody right there. They're all real.
Come on, Cockfield!
Wow, Cockfield with the touchdown. With Thomas as the dummy? You got to be kidding me.
He looks pretty smart to me out there. The entire defense came with him. A 4-yard touchdown strike. Cockfield dragging across the back of the end zone. Again, that same Z-loop play they like to run. You see Thomas go to the flat. Cockfield comes right behind him. And I don't know if we're ever going to get the truthful answer from Bashorner as to who he was going for, because if he saw Cockfield coming open that early, I bow down to him. That was a heck of a read by Bashorner, and a nice job by J.R. Thomas not trying to reach back and get that football.
Hawley converts the extra point. Now, late. Well, you got to make something happen. Time is definitely not the Hawks' friend. They score, but they remain down a dozen with 2.5 minutes remaining against Central Valley at the EEC.
Beacon Plumbing of Kent, Washington is a customer of Banner Bank, and you might see their truck heading up to Bellingham to help another Banner customer, Smith Gardens, with their plumbing. Now, Smith Gardens delivers plants to Pacific Building Center in Blaine, run by Bob and Pam Christensen and their dog Dutchie. And every summer, Bob, Pam, and Dutchie head to the Tri-Cities to watch this hydroplane sponsored by, you guessed it, Beacon Plumbing. It just goes to show that we're all in some way connected to the same bank.
If you like both kinds of music, country and western, the Emerald Queen Casino has got you covered.
July 15th, spend an evening with the legendary country star, Tanya Tucker. Find your Delta Dawn with Tanya Tucker before it's a little too late. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Emerald Queen Casino, I-5 Tacoma, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Poker's elite make their way down under. PartyPoker.net presents Aussie Millions 2006. World champion Joseph Hashem returns home to battle the world's top poker players for a $3 million purse at Australia's most exclusive casino. Only one will be crowned champion of the Outback. PartyPoker.net presents Aussie Millions 2006. Series premiere Saturday, only on FSN.
Wes Bashorner, 11 of 15, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. You know, those are not bad numbers. And Jason Stiles, you come back to the T word, turnovers.
Turnovers, you're right, Brian. And one of those completions to Milton Myers ends up in a fumble. An earlier one from Baker to Hassan Brockman turns into a fumble. As you see, they'll attempt an onside kick here and see if they can get another quick possession.
Taylor picks it up for the Coyotes, and he's got a chance to score. He is tackled by Hawley inside the 10-yard line. Goes back to your point earlier, that kicker's getting too much action on coverage.
When you're called on to rely on the onside kick to get your possessions back, you're really risking it. As Craig Hawley gets a good bounce on this, just a little deep, pretty easy reception for Maurice Taylor, who comes into this game leading his team in interceptions. We haven't seen him pull any out of the air. He does have a fumble recovery. And then, of course, this onside kick almost turns it into a score. But the Coyotes now inside the 5-yard line of the Hawks with Scotty Rizlov trying to put it back in the end zone.
6 touchdown passes. The pitch to Matt Guardia. Touchdown. never hit the ground when he hit that pile just outside the goal line. And Matt Guardia, 268-pounder out of San Diego.
Another small college program, the Toreros of San Diego, playing that Division I AA league. They have a lot of travel now. They play Dayton and Bucknell and all the way across the country. But Guardia now playing in the AF2, making it work. And I'm impressed at the up-front blocking at the point of attack with these guys. I tell you what, they're making it happen.
Well, especially on those plays to the fullbacks, those guys hit the line of scrimmage running straight downhill. Good effort by Fields to block, but Gockman converts. And it is back to a 19-point game. So Fred Bolitnikov Jr., barring something just absolutely fantastic, will have his first 3-game winning streak of the season. And the Coyotes will go to 8-4. FSN kicks it into gear with the Portland Timbers. Catch all the action and excitement of the United Soccer League's 20th season. Miami FC, Portland Timbers, Sunday at 6 p.m. on FSN. We won't talk about the United States in the World Cup.
Coming into this game, both teams holding the opposition to about 43 points a game. The difference maker, at least statistically, is the offense for Central Valley. It has borne true tonight as Central Valley crosses over that 60-point barrier, which they've done 4 different times this season. They've gotten to 59 2 different times. And we talked about that one blip on the radar screen, a 38-28 loss against Bakersfield, in which they intercepted Scott Rizloff 3 times.
Well, they get a week off next week as well. Then they have Stockton. They get Stockton twice down the stretch. Stockton, the Lightning, has faded to 4-7 going into this weekend. They'll also get Oklahoma City, then Bakersfield, which also tonight, or came into this weekend, they'll play tomorrow. But the Bulldogs 7-4, just like the Coyotes. There is a dogfight there with Spokane starting the weekend at 8-2. Then the Coyotes and Bakersfield both at 7-4. That's a push up there at the top.
It really is, and it's going to make for some great ball games down the stretch. You know, Scott Rizloff would love nothing more than to avenge his performance against Bakersfield early on than to come back with some more touchdown lightning that he's shown pretty much every other team in this league.
1-minute warning. Tony Wells and Bishorner just trying to clean this one up. Big lead. Coyotes just about have it in the bag.
Arena football, demonstrated by Kurt Warner and John Elway. Arena quarterbacks pass almost every play. Score so high you'll need oxygen. Running for the sidelines? What sidelines? Offense also plays defense. Oh, one more thing. The field, only 50 yards long.
Watch the Arena Football League, Season 20 on FSN.
Oh, I know. Well, tell me about it. That bang was so bootleg, I had it devout. Tell me about it.
Oh, man. Those kicks are the lick. Must have been spinny.
You may not understand your kids.
Dude, that breezy's blazing. Dude, she's totally jocking him.
But your kids understand you. Talk to them about drugs. Need help? Get help. Visit our website at drugfree.org.
Downtown Everett, all dressed up, looking pretty good outside the Everett Events Center, where the Hawks will play after the bye week 2 more. At home, Green Bay, and then, well, Bakersfield. Check that, then Green Bay. Then they finish up at Spokane and at Bakersfield. That's a tough order down the stretch for Wells and company. Man, look at Thomas hit the line of scrimmage, but Bishorner's going to be sacked. Man. Guy on the ground reaches up, grabs his jersey, and slingshots him to the ground. That's Guardia. Just scored the touchdown. Now he gets the sack on top of that.
You talked about the second half momentum that Central Valley creates for themselves. Game in and game out. You go back to a couple weeks ago in Fresno, they did the same thing. Everett got down to the 15-yard line, had a chance to go ahead in the game. 2 straight sacks of Brian Baker. They forced a 4th down incompletion, and they closed the game out. Similar thing here, although the game is a little bit more out of hand. They really start running downhill. It does that defensive line and harassing the quarterback. The second half, Bishoner's been on his back quite a bit, and a lot of time he's had the ball in his hand.
2 more quarterback sacks tonight for the Coyotes. They have 25 on the season. That ranks them 6th in the AFL. Quarterback pressure leads to turnovers. Again, they're plus 19. Tops in AF2. Hard to beat a combination like that. And Everett still probably paying the price for all that personnel turnover early in the season. Here's for Thomas. Haslip again steps right in front of him and takes it away, and he'll take the knee. And that ought to just about do it. 5 turnovers tonight. Bishorner has thrown a couple of interceptions, and Haslip read that ball very well.
He did a nice job pinning Thomas to the corner to where he used the sideline as another defender. He didn't allow Thomas to come back in. As you see him turn and make that play, just a fantastic athletic play. And I think at the end of the game, you can say Haslip definitely got Thomas's number after that first big touchdown that Thomas had.
Haslip out of USC, so played in a quality program. A lot of guys with good Division I experience on the Coyotes roster.
The thing about that play that Everett ran is they're taking Thomas to the sideline. Of course, you're taking advantage of his speed, but you're also giving the defender that wall to work with. If you run him off the middle, he can go inside or outside, and that defender's at a real disadvantage. I think Everett got away from that a little bit here at the end of the game.
For the Hawks, the mission really becomes getting better. That's what Tony Wells told his guys during the week. This is when he made them run. He said, we have got to worry about getting better. And so when he had guys getting ready to cough up a lung up there at Everett High School the other night, that's what it's about. And in that moment, guys started to bicker. They lost their focus. He needed to regain their focus, so he ran them. And then he told them, fellas, we've got to get better. We're not there yet, not even close.
And this is a great measuring stick as you take a look at Brian Baker. He's kind of an odd, didn't see any action in this second half. But as much as Bishorner was being tossed around, I'm not so sure. No guy wants to be on the sideline, but he saw his buddy, his quarterback comrade, get harassed into all sorts of trouble in the second half. But as you were saying, this is a good measuring stick for Everett. And they didn't match it tonight. They've got to find out who their core guys are that they can count on at the end of the season, then moving into next year's. They're going to fall to 3-9 and pretty much puts them out of the playoff picture.
Positive yardage on a running play normally keeps the clock running the final minute, but Everett has timeouts and is using them. Guardia is also a little slow to get up.
I will say this, that Central Valley is offensively as good a team as you will find. There isn't going to be a whole lot. You're not going to find a whole lot more teams that can put up the points than they can. And you look in arena football, you can outscore some teams. Even if your defense isn't playing that well, you can flat out outscore some teams to win ball games.
Watch Clay Harrell practice this week up at Everett High. It was painful to watch him run. I mean, there is not probably a fiber in his body that doesn't hurt right now. So this off week will really help. But a guy who is a gamer, again, he's overtaken Fields for the sack lead on this team, in part because Fields creates so much havoc. Other guys like Harrell can clean it up, but they love him. Clay Harrell is right at the top of Wells and Missick's list, and Rodney Swanigan as well. He is a total gamer.
He's a blue-collar guy, and he is the epitome of what Ironman football is in arena football. And he goes both ways. He doesn't get a whole lot of breathers. Every once in a while, he's got to run down there on special teams, and for a guy that big to play that much football and make the impact that he does says a whole lot about the big fella.
Vinatoa's brother will take credit for the barbecue last night that helped Scott Rizloff throw 6 touchdown passes. The Coyotes have won 3 consecutive games to go to 8-4 on the season. The Hawks' winning streak at home stops at 2 as Central Valley blows up the bird dance. Everett started in a hurry, scored on the first play from scrimmage of the game, scored on their first 2 possessions, but penalties and turnovers, killer. FSN Live is coming up next. Bakersfield and Everett, our next broadcast, the 10th of July. For Jeff Aaron, Jason Stiles, I'm Brian Davis. Final score 61-42. So long from the EEC.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Their Mondo burritos are our favorite by far. Life is good when you have your buddies